Assemble the accused! Bear witness to their trials. The time of the Inquisition is now at hand. Putting pop culture to the rack, the Inquisition calls to account the events of the week, rooting out heresy wherever it is found. I am Grand Inquisitor DOOMCOCK, the future ruler of Earth, and joining me for tonight's torture is Nerdrotic Channel's Grand Inquisitor, Gary Beekler. Gary, I understand that you watched Star Trek Discovery and the Doctor Who trailer back to back.
Remember that scene in Casino Royale when James Bond is sitting there in the chair with the little hole cut in it, and then the guy's hitting him in the balls with a rope?
Yes, the knotted rope.
Yeah. Just like that.
That's a punishment we should actually we should implement on the Inquisition. What would we call it? I propose ring around the assholey. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just whack, right there. Just that little ring. I fell into a burning ring of punishment. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I don't ever want to do that again. I was going to even do like a video reaction. I'll do it probably tomorrow. But yeah, I needed to talk to my members after that. I needed a therapeutic session, because while the Doctor wasn't really in her own trailer, and it looks like we're going to get Orange is the New Black in space, and they ripped off Victory of the Daleks, seeing John Barrowman in there is just like, it too, John. It too.
Oh, it was painful, man. It was painful. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. As the captain tonight on your channel, I don't know what flight of fancy what course you've prepared for our flight of fancy tonight. So I don't want to jump into the Who trailer prematurely, but God, it was just, I mean, how do you cram so much dysfunction in like 30 seconds? I don't know. It's kind of impressive, really.
It really is. I mean, like, we did learn a lot in that 1 minute. We learned that absolutely nothing has changed. Like we were talking about this right before the show, utter contempt for us, the audience. Yep. And, when we talk about Star Trek, and we were just talking about Picard and how, one of the biggest problems with Picard is Patrick Stewart was behind the decision-making in that show. And that sticks in everybody's head who hates it. I think, John coming back, I don't think he creatively has anything to do with it. So I probably won't hold it against him, but that remains to be seen. When I go watch an episode with him in it, I don't know until that happens, but it's clear Chris Chibnall, if he can't, he's just going to destroy Doctor Who. He's like, I'm fine with doing that. If you guys don't like it, you're going to treat me like crap, then I'm just going to break your ball, not take the ball, go home. I'm going to pop your ball. Balls. He already took Doctor's balls away, and it looks like and there's so much comedy gold in that trailer too. Now that the UK is locked down and we have a prime minister sending out Dalek drones. I mean, it might be, art imitating life at this point, while there's currently riots in the UK over restrictions, we'll say. And yeah, I'm wondering what the people in the UK thought of that aspect of it. But yeah, Jodie wasn't in it, but who's going to save the world? Yaz. She's going to sit at the table and save the world, sitting at a damn table, because she can sit at a table better than any other companion and look completely useless.
Not just look useless, but actually be useless. I was posing the question to you earlier, just when we were warming up. Has Yaz ever done anything on this show that was memorable or interesting?
She sat there once really good. I think it was in the was it the Demons of Punjab? I think it was the Demons of Punjab. She sat out at a table, and I think she squeezed out a tear once. She cried.
Wow.
Feelings. She wore a police uniform once, and has never come back.
Wow. Maybe she was inspired by the Demons of Poontang. I don't know. To square that out. But when I have to be careful, how I phrased this because I said some harsh things when I watched this trailer. But when she looked up at Captain Jack and said, "Is it possible that you're like insecure?" I was like, I don't know. Is it possible that you're a useless blank? And yeah, so we can't even go 30 seconds without insulting a white guy and a legacy white guy, a important part of the lore white guy. He's just a white male. He needs to be put down by an absolute complete nothing like Yaz.
Yeah, some 20 some year old, fake cop is going to call out an immortal who's probably slept with we'll just say a lot of species. I think he's been around, and he's the symbol of what, of why this show used to be for everyone, and all of this over politically correct intersectional garbage that they're shoveling down everybody's throat is, I mean, it's something that was not necessary in the show. It didn't need to have it. And it just proved that it proved their motivations. They were there to take something away, if it didn't work in this way, it wasn't going to work at all. The people creating this show don't like Doctor Who, hate the past. They think it's embarrassing, and they're trying to make up for but they still want to sell it to you as Doctor Who.
Right.
And that's the despicable. I mean, they stole this. So even though BBC owns it, the intersectionalists, well, I'll call them, they came in and were witnessing a theft. And we have been chronicling this theft and desecration of something we used to love, being tortured and skinned alive, like right before our very eyes. And I was under the probably wrong impression that this Christmas special was going to be a side story and it wouldn't like double or triple down on it. But man, everything I saw in the trailer, it looked like they were in Dr. Ruth's TARDIS to me. And they were, somebody called her Dr. Ruth yesterday. I thought that was pretty good because it's Ruth. The Council House TARDIS. I also think that, they're going to double and triple down on this stuff, and we're going to find out a lot more, or that we don't want to know about the Time Lords or how evil they have been. And very, it's the very same thing is going to happen to Star Trek. When we get to Star Trek, they hinted heavily that the Federation might not be all that it is right now. So, I mean, who didn't see that coming?
Oh yeah. That's pretty much par for the course.
But of course, this episode will not be on Christmas, Doomcock, because we can't have it on a specific religious holiday. I think at this point they wanted the time slot back and they couldn't get it back. I think that's what a lot of people think right now. And it's being good by a show, The Vicar of you're going to kill me. Dibley. Yeah. Where as pointed out that half the cast is dead. And this show beat out Doctor Who, where the entire cast is dead. So I guess.
Yes. Well, yeah. It's a long running, not as long as Doctor Who by any means. It's got Don French starring in it as the aforementioned vicar. I really hope nobody watches this. I certainly have no plans to watch this garbage. I think I can't stand it anymore. I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it, and thank God it's not gonna ruin my Christmas day. I mean, I don't feel New Year's doesn't mean much to me. It's just another day. So I gonna ruin my Christmas day.
Why did I do that?
I mean, I don't hear myself. I think the ratings will probably get a boost because of John Barrowman, but not much. So I think a couple 3 million will watch it in the UK.
Why would that boost anything? And when we saw him previously in a really sad, kind of desperate, flop sweaty performance, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how often are people going to keep coming back for this abuse and punishment? It's like
if you're going to get people watching your finale, I mean, that's a great point. I think we're, I mean, the finale which changed the show's history forever, was one of the lowest rated shows in its history. So yeah, I mean, they might not come back. That would make me so happy.
I don't think anyone should watch this shit. I really, really don't. It's an insult. And I mean, you're just going to keep coming back for more abuse. You're going to keep coming back to a show that says that the doctor was a child, a female child that got murdered over and over and over and over again in various shades of the rainbow flag, by the way, before finally settling on this male incarnation. I just, and the Time Lord stole the powers of regeneration of this girl child. I just haven't got any fucking words for the ugliness and stupidity and the sheer fucking hubris of Chin Balls. It's a fucking nerve to go ahead and destroy and pollute this franchise this horribly. I mean, there's nothing that we can do to stop this shit from happening, but by God, we can stop watching this garbage in protest and just say, you know what? Well, you've murdered it, and enjoy the body, but I'm not going to fucking come watch you sodomize the corpse. I don't know. I mean, unless you have to watch it when you're a reviewer, I guess maybe you do. I don't know if I'm going to have the stomach to do it.
Yeah, there's a point where I was just talking before I'm going to stop. It's like there's I can't see me doing it past this season. I don't know what would be the point with season 13. I'll probably maybe do a review of the whole season, but every episode, but nah. I mean, it's because it's not going to change. I think you review it for a couple of seasons because you think, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're just, new to this, and they'll get their feet under them and they'll work this thing out. And listen, that was like a micro percentage, how much I thought that. And I'm a fan. We want things to get better, but they're not getting better. They're going to get absolute worse. The more Doctor Who Chin Balls makes, the worse it'll get. The more Star Trek Kurtzman makes, the worse it will get. What they did, I mean, watching it was in sync. It was an absolute sync. What Doctor Who did and Star Trek did for me the same day when I watched them back to back. They are in the same place. Now, Doctor Who has destroyed its show more than Star Trek has, because there's still like Deep Space Nines out there, and there's still the original series, and they can't really fuck with that. But Doctor Who has been done fucked. It's screwed, and it's infested Big Finish now. And that's got worse. And then this fucking Time Lord victorious stupid crossover. And I know there's still people out there that are hanging on. It's like, maybe it's a skill. I know when to get the fuck out of something. And it's a hard lesson that I learned early in life when I didn't get out of something soon enough. But I know when this is getting bad. It's in a cascade effect. It's not going to turn around. I know this with jobs, with all kinds of stuff. I know when to just this is time to cut it off. I'd rather leave too early than stay too long. Equate it to businesses right now hanging on in California. You got businesses burning through their savings, hoping that just around the corner, we're going to get released. We're going to have, they're going to allow maximum people into my salon or something like that. They're not doing that. They actually reduced it. Starting tomorrow in Santa Clara County, you could only have 10%. That's what you're allowed to have in your salon. 10%. That won't even keep the fucking lights on. So with Doctor Who, with Star Trek, we've been watching it for 2 seasons, and we've seen this trajectory going like this. I don't think it's, it takes a genius to figure out that this isn't getting better. And what you are seeing is some fans just accepting it and being okay with it and saying it's Star Trek, it's better than nothing. No, it's not better than nothing when it guarantees your show doesn't have a future. Your show won't come back in 20 years. Don't think that. Don't think that for 1 minute. You can't redo a 50-year franchise, and you don't know what people are going to be interested in 20 years. This era of the nerd has lasted a very long time. So, I mean, it will not be the hot thing in Hollywood forever. It just won't. It could last another decade if they didn't get woke easily. But you get woke, it's it's done forever. There'll be Doctor Who comics and little Target books, and sure, but you're not going to see it on television.
Nobody's going to care anymore. Nobody cares. It's you've driven off too many of the fans with a horrible taste in their mouth that they're never ever going to want to come back to anything that you do. Certainly Star Trek and CBS, Viacom, I have no interest in seeing anything they do in the future, ever. The only way I would ever revisit Star Trek is if it was entirely different, not just creative team, but company doing it. Company. It's done. It's dead. And the funny thing is, with this last episode, and really Kurtzman is just trying at this point to pull a chin balls and destroy Star Trek for his own petty revenge, because, you didn't like it? Well, I'm going to destroy it then. Fine. But guess what? You know who he's destroying it for? Not us. Viacom CBS.
Yep.
He is fucking Viacom CBS right in its poop chute because they're the ones whose intellectual property has been devalued. It is Viacom CBS stockholders who have had the crown jewel of franchise of their intellectual property quiver completely destroyed. Moving forward, we still have Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock. We still have Cisco. We don't really have the Next Generation anymore to a large extent because specifically we saw Patrick Stewart himself be degraded and debased. And just like we saw Luke Skywalker himself be degraded and debased. That's different. That's different than seeing, Anson Mount and, Pecker Spork and, Rebecca Romaine, whatever her fucking name is, as number one. They're just, we know that's like cosplay shit. It doesn't matter. It's annoying and it's kind of infuriating at the depths of intellectual dishonesty and insult to the fan base and to the property. But ultimately, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt a thing. It doesn't tarnish Star Trek for us because it's not the same people. It's not seeing Jean-Luc Picard dressed up like some fucking colonial, settler, like traipsing around in the Romulan village and bowing down and saying, we failed you over and over again. That would be like seeing William Shatner, as Captain Kirk going into a gay bar in drag and then reporting back to his high overlords in the Klingon Empire because he was a Klingon all along. That would hurt. That would hurt because it's specifically William Shatner. But Jodie Whittaker is not the Doctor. Jodie Whittaker is nothing. And so, now she was in this latest incarnation that was so repugnant. So see, I don't understand how anybody can stand to look at her big gaping mouth, catfish, gasping on land portrayal of a character that she couldn't possibly be because that character's male. So I don't, why the fuck is anybody going to ruin their new year, get the new year started off wrong by going back into that poison well? I don't know. I guess my point is that Star Trek lives in my Blu-ray player. Star Trek lives in the posters on my wall, but Star Trek moving forward is dead. And fucking Kurtzman is to blame. And if Viacom CBS are the ones that are taking it, and they're the ones that have lost everything. And the same thing with Doctor Who, because look, Gary, you can watch all your old Doctor Who's with no problem, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to watch Tom Baker dressed up as an idiot colonial or going into the gay bar and drag and then reporting to his overlords, the Daleks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't completely undermined everything that we knew about that character with the actual actor. So you can watch Tom Baker all day long. It doesn't matter.
Tonight after the show, I'm going to watch a little bit just to cleanse the palate. Got a good, 25-minute Doctor Who episode is perfect for cleansing the palate. But you're right, dude. There is no future for this. And, as somebody said in the chat, the more you hang on, the more it stings. And, honestly, when we stop talking about this shit, what do they got? Nothing. And when we're done talking, that means our money has walked away. And who knows the audience they're going for, right? So I think they've just kind of put their hands up the air and let's just go for the CW audience. Well, they don't buy shit. You can make a couple of pop vinyls and you'll be fine, and your show will be forgotten. There will be no legacy for Star Trek Discovery. It will not have a resurgence in 10 years because I don't know if TV shows will. I just had a very good conversation with my members. I guess we could bring this up is the future, when we've discussed this before, DOOMCOCK, because, we witnessed what happened to the music industry with streaming and with comics when it went digital. It makes them cheaper. It lessens them. It deflates their value. And when you have a million TV shows out there, your show better be extraordinary to even be considered, maybe for 3 seasons now. And the reason BBC kept Doctor Who around, the reason CBS Viacom wanted Star Trek was to have that built-in audience, and they have systematically pushed all of us away. So, and now DOOMCOCK just said it. I associate that with the brand too, not just Kurtzman, CBS Viacom.
I know, man. That is basically the fact of the matter. So, if I was the stockholders, if I was the executives of Viacom CBS, I would be infuriated. I would realize that I have been ripped off by this guy who has treated my intellectual property like his personal toy. And he's a destructive kid that doesn't play well with others. And now that toy is broken in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones. The joke is on them.
Yeah.
The joke's on them. It's not coming out of my pocket. I don't give a shit. I still got my Star Trek. I've still got a whole DVD full of all the Star Trek comics that have ever been published up to 2005. I've got Star Trek novels. I've got fan films. I don't give a shit about what Viacom CBS is doing with Star Trek. And I don't need them. They need me. They need you. They need us. They're the ones that are fucked. How do you like that, Viacom CBS? You happy? I don't know. It just seems to me ironic.
There's indicators all over the place that Star Trek is dead as a brand. And that as a collector, a lot of people, my favorite thing, it really is. Cause I don't listen to comments, unless they're really, if there's some good advice in there, positive or, constructive criticism. Yeah, sure. But most of the comments we get, these guys don't know shit. They don't know what they're talking about. And you're right. We don't know what the fuck. The lifelong collectors. So what DOOMCOCK and I have done our entire lives is find deals, go to swap meets, go to eBay, go to multiple comic stores. And yeah, I've been doing this for almost 40 years. So I might know a thing or two about collecting. Okay. Just maybe. When you go on eBay and you look for old Star Trek comics, old Star Trek toys, they're dirt cheap. They're dirt cheap because there's no value in them at all. These are things that used to be valuable, and now you can get them relatively cheap. I can't tell you how many lots there are of the 8-inch Star Wars figures or Star Trek figures. There's hundreds of them.
Really?
Just dumping them, trying to get rid of them because they can't sell them individually because nobody gives a shit because there isn't a big enough audience anymore. So that's your clear indicator. Star Trek comics are worthless. They're absolutely worthless. If you buy a new one, I don't know what you're doing. Wait a couple of weeks and you'll find it in the dollar bin somewhere. There's no value in Star Trek anymore as a brand, as a license. And people who are doing it are like what IDW is doing it right now. Well, that's a company that's practically going broke. And who's going to pick it up after that? Maybe somebody from Indiegogo will pick it up. Who knows? But
I doubt it.
Yeah. Az bought this huge collection of Star Trek comics, the DC run. Right. And I was like, oh, I'll look into that. I looked into it. It's cheap. You can get a whole run at a few places. And that is not a good sign for your brand. Certain Star Wars stuff is still, especially the vintage stuff, that's worth a lot of money. That at least shows there's still interest in your brand. Now, once this generation ages out, but Star Trek was a generation ahead of Star Wars. Okay. So it's aging out, and it has not replenished at all. So it's dead. This was their chance. This was their chance to pick up a young audience, to get, what Doctor Who did in 2012 that they fucked up, and they didn't do it. So goodbye. You won't see a company sinking $10 million an episode into a Star Trek anything. There's no desire for it. They can talk about making all the fucking movies. They can talk about recasting DS9 and doing a JJ remake all day long. Not going to help. There's not enough people who care. Not even about DS9. As much of a resurgence it's had one within the Star Trek fandom. The normies do not care. And
no, they don't. And listen, them rebooting anything is not a selling point for me. I know that I've seen what they do, and so it's a point of dread. Yeah. If they ever touched Deep Space Nine, it would just be horrible. Anything coming out of their house stinks. Period.
To high heaven.
Yep.
To absolute high heaven. I'm gonna pull these up. Hang on just a moment. So with Star Trek, I guess we could talk about that. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about as far as the Doctor Who trailer. They didn't show you much. They showed Captain Jack. He showed some reverence for the Doctor, and there's the Victory of the Daleks is the episode is with Winston Churchill in it, and where they had some Daleks fight to help them fight the Nazis. So it's the same damn plot essentially. And, Matt Smith is there going, no, these guys are bad guys. And it's actually a pretty good episode. I like that episode a lot, but, for them to rip off a classic so soon, and then, okay, how many times have the Daleks invaded Earth? So humans would know what a Dalek is, unless they're in an alternate universe, which I guess could be it. You could say the same thing for Star Trek. See, there's parallels here. They're either getting really sloppy with their canon, and I know they've done this before, but like this is incredibly sloppy, or they just don't give a fuck anymore, or both, or they're in an alternate dimension. And I don't think they're in an alternate dimension because that would require thought. Now, this episode of Doctor Who was filmed during the season, so they couldn't change anything with it. They couldn't reshoot anything with it. It was locked. Now, I don't know. Captain Jack feels like he was added on later, but maybe not. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I'm surprised he came back this soon, Doomcock, because my speculation was Captain Jack would be in like half of season 13, which I still think he's going to be in. Because they are desperate, especially since they're losing, Tolson Cole and Bradley Walsh, the other dudes, and who knows what they're going to replace them with. I don't care at this point.
No, I don't care. Why are they desperate? That would imply that they care.
Exactly.
It seems like they don't give a shit about the audience. What do they give a shit about? Obviously they can't give a shit. They are aware that this has negatively impacted the series. Certainly. Unless they're living in a complete bubble, but the ratings should tell them everything they want to know. The lack of merchandise. No, or is that too optimistic? Are they oblivious?
I think editorially, they think the show has never been better. I think that's what I was looking for a tweet. I don't know where it is now. It was from Jodie Whittaker, and she said, well, she has no plans on going anywhere. As the Doctor. Well, she can have all the plans she wants. What I hear is, at the end of the day, I hate that saying, but the money does matter there. The licensing matters. All the value of Doctor Who is based on the Tennant era, quite frankly, even more than the classic era. And so that's how they sell their licensing, and that's what the value of the show comes from. Okay, but this is degrading it. And as time goes on, we'll look at Doctor Who. It went from Netflix to Amazon, and now it's buried on HBO Max, and it'll be buried there for 5 years, and then it'll go somewhere else. probably, I don't know, probably just stay on Pluto TV at that point.
Well, I don't know. The end of this trailer said AMC Plus.
Then maybe that's British. Yeah, because it's on HBO Max. It was a big billboard. I saw a big book.
Of course, nobody watches HBO Max because nobody can get it. It's really hard to find. How do you even get to it? You have to watch it on your fucking phone or something. I don't watch TV on my phone.
Yeah, no, it's not fun to watch TV on your phone.
No,
or your computer. Especially when you like invest in a big old TV.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's available on like Roku or anything like that.
No, it's not.
That was
fucking
dumb.
Ridiculous.
Well, everything about HBO Max was dumb. I think they rushed the streaming service for one. They were banking on Game of Thrones going out with, as a big hit so they can do their 5 spinoffs. They were banking on a lot of stuff. They were banking on the DCEU to be a hit, and that didn't happen either. They were banking on Harry Potter and the stupid Fantastic Beasts series to be a hit, which is just being forced at this point because it doesn't make any money. Those movies are terrible. So yeah, I think they're in a rock and a hard place. So they got the Snyder cut, which is good, but that's about it. And they got warning labels on all their fucking movies, which pisses people off. And they're cutting out, they're editing episodes. So I think people are automatically going to get turned off. And I think the streaming wars are going to be won. And I was again discussing this with my members, by no one. I don't think anybody's going to win. I think it's just going to be kind of a fart in the wind. I think there's going to be too much entertainment out there, and people are, it's fine to Netflix and chill, but are you going to go through 5 services and chill? No, you're going to pick one and you're going to do that one. And most people are going to pick Netflix or Amazon, and Amazon can kill anybody if they want to, because they're the $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
So, and that's where Star Trek will end up. They'll end up having to leak, and they do. If you have your own streaming service, Viacom, CBS, and you have to still have it on Netflix so you can afford your own streaming service, that's self-defeating. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess that people are going to get frustrated with, and they'll just watch YouTube instead. That's what
Yeah, that's the way to do it. YouTube's much better. YouTube is so much more fun.
It is. You find something new. You find for one, it's authentic, it's new, and I mostly trust what I see as far as clicks. So if people like it, and I don't go to any of the trending stuff. I don't subscribe to anybody with one channel's closed, but I don't subscribe to anybody with 1 million subs.
Mm-hmm.
I just like watching, as Brie Larson puts it, people. I like people. I know
she said that.
Yeah, I like people.
Oh my God.
Crazy Cat Guy, thank you for the phallic unicorn. Thank you for the ice cream. I appreciate it for $1.49 each. Nikki D for $5. Canceled my Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Disney Plus accounts. Tired of funding these hacks that butcher our beloved properties. Think the normies might follow suit. Eventually, normies. I love you. You make the world go around. You're a bit slow, and it's busy. But no, I think we need to stop giving money to people who hate us. I think that's until they stop. But
I agree. I'm reminded of Leonard Nimoy when he sings that song, Highly Illogical. You ever hear Leonard Nimoy do that song?
I haven't heard it in a long time.
Boy meets girl, they fall in love. She tells him he's everything she has dreamed of, but when they get married, before he's aware, she changes his habits, the way he combs his hair, changes into someone that he's never been, and then complains he's not like other men. And it's funny that these companies, like you were saying, have acquired these properties not because they love the properties per se. It's not like, the CBS president wants a discount on Star Trek posters to put on his wall. He's buying us. What they're buying when they buy a franchise is they're buying the fan base. So why in God's name, dude, are they then trying to change the very fan base that they bought. It's like the woman like marrying a guy hoping to change him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or a man marrying a woman hoping to change her. It doesn't work that way. You just drive people away when you don't want them to be what they are. And you're not, and it's a fake when you're basically conducting a ceremony saying, hey, here's some Star Trek for you, but we've changed it entirely. And there goes the fan base. I don't get the logic of this.
Well, it's forcing a square peg into a round hole. They took over Doctor Who and were like, hey, your male role model, the show that mostly boys enjoyed that had, tons of toys and lots of fun. And you know what? A lot of women enjoyed this show too. Well, it's a girl's show now. You had your turn. It's a girl's show now, and it'll work just the same because there's no difference between men and women. And that's the intersectional mindset. And that's how they see the world. So I think the hard time we're all having is we're trying to wrap our head around their worldview. And they don't even believe this shit. These are hollow people. These are hollow people who actually think that this makes the world a better place. They're teaching lessons rather than bringing joy. You create so much more change by putting a smile on somebody's face than fucking hammering home a lesson. And do you know how long you've been sexist? That's what I want to get from my Doctor Who episode. You've been sexist all your life, not just recently, all your life. You were born sexist. As a matter of fact, you should just spend the rest of your life apologizing to everyone and then giving us your shit. And we still want your money. When I see, and we'll get to it, that the Siffy fangirls, the ones who went through and tried to cancel Gina Carano and then they got fired, right? It was like instant karma right in front of everyone. And then one of them goes out and asks for a job like this. She goes on Twitter and is like, I podcast and I'm a content creator and I do silly shit. Hire me. We are firmly in clown world at that point. I mean, I'm not a black pill person at all. I like a good fight, and I will stay the course. But there are moments I'm like, I'm just gonna go live in the fucking country, like miles away from everyone. Like I want to live near Bigfoot, and that's it. When I see shit like that, but the world is not Twitter, thank God. And she was roundly shamed for it, thank God. And that gives me hope. You people give me hope. But yeah, I don't know why DOOMCOCK, they go, let's take this thing that's working perfectly and fill it full of our messaging, which we know in the back of our heads is just antithetical to everything this show is about, and break it.
Yeah.
I wonder why it didn't work.
It's weird. It's like buying a boat and then drilling a hole in it. Saying, exactly. Well, I think the hole is more aesthetically pleasing because, the boat is shaped, seen from above, in a phallic way. So we want to go ahead and put a hole in it to bring out its internal femininity. Mm-hmm. And they drill the hole and, the hole gets appropriately wet. But that's unfortunately the water leaking up out of the hole. It's not the mystical feminine. It's called sinking.
Yep. I mean, equate it like this. You just bought a badass motorcycle. Everybody loves this motorcycle. This motorcycle's sexy, but it's not accessible to everyone. So we bought this badass motorcycle and we turned it into a kid's tricycle so everybody can ride it. That's what they did with fucking Doctor Who. And it's just dead at this point. I don't know how many, beating a dead horse, whatever. There are people who are still pretty upset about it. And listen, for those of you out there who are like, don't even worry what's left of the fandom says. I mean, that's such an insignificant number of people. There are more people who used to love this show and watched it regularly who don't watch it anymore than there are people who currently watch the show. We outnumber them 100 to 1. Mm-hmm. And the ratings prove that.
Oh, yeah.
A season finale of your big popular female doctor, some of the worst ratings in the show's history.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on a Sunday night. So it should have done better than what, Capaldi was on. God, they did that guy so wrong, but they also wrote bad stories. But it was on Saturday night and they were giving him year breaks. This is toast. And this could be the last Doctor Who episode we get for an entire year. They're talking about coming back in fall. And maybe they do. Who knows? They're only filming a videoing 8 episodes. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, nobody's going to miss it. Like that. This show will be forgotten 5 minutes after it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It's hard to even remember these things. It's hard to remember. I watched Star Trek Discovery on Friday. And other than a few major, signposts of complete outrage, milestones of mendacity, I can't really remember what the fuck it was about. It fades in memory like trauma does. Thank God.
I wrote it down. But there's you forgot it because there wasn't much to the episode. For something called Unification Part 3, and you bring back the Vulcans, nothing happened. There was a bunch of standing around in rooms and talking to each other.
Right.
It was like a bottle episode. They're all bottle episodes. You notice they spend a lot of, I guess that commander-in-chief of the Federation just stands in front of a white wall all day. Is that what he does?
Well, yeah, sure. That's all they have. They don't even have real matter anymore. They've lost the fucking ability to hammer some wood together and make a fucking desk. Nope. We got to have it like assembled minute to minute by weird little nanobots or some shit like that. I don't know.
The Doctor Who trailer looks like a ripoff of Victory of the Daleks, which was a ripoff of Power of the Daleks. I hope that the Daleks win this time.
Me too. God, I hope so.
Yes, I agree. I am rooting for the Daleks. I said that the last Dalek, and you notice they're sticking the Dalek in the holiday episodes now. I'm still waiting for that female voice Dalek. I'm thinking we're going to get it. We might get it this episode. Who knows?
Probably. Or since it's like they're going to take the D out of Dalek, is it going to be a Valak?
A Valak.
Instead of the D, it's a V, I think.
There's some reading. I can probably show them later that it's a good use of the Dalek shape in its current form. Tim Scorpion for $2 reminds us all that a bit of a legend passed. David Prowse is no longer with us. Rest in peace, sir. Now, I don't know the details of it. I just remember he didn't get paid, or feels like he didn't get paid his residuals from Return of the Jedi. Do you know much about that?
No. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't have gotten his residuals, but I think he was very hurt and offended that people considered that James Earl Jones was Darth Vader, really, and not Dave Prowse. I met Dave Prowse. I got his autograph, and on his autograph he wrote, "Dave Prowse is Darth Vader," and like big, is. Emphasis, and I know that rankled. I know that rankled him, and it just seems to me like if I had been George Lucas, I understand that his voice was not appropriate for the Dark Lord of the Sith, but if I was George Lucas, I certainly would have written him a scene, where he was an Imperial officer, or something like that. Give him a few lines, let his face be seen. That would have just been courtesy to me and respect. And it's just sad that in no incarnation did they do that. Not in any of the Disney sequel trilogy. They put him in anything. Not in the cartoons. I don't know. It just kind of sticks in my craw, and it's a very sad thing. He was I know somebody who was friends with him and says he was just a really sweet guy, really cared about the fans, and it's just really sad that he's gone.
It is, and it was Sebastian Shaw, right, who was the
actor that yes, when he was unmasked, and they could have definitely had Dave Prowse do that under makeup.
He was more of an appropriate age at the time,
than
being like this, freaking God. That guy was in his late 60s or something like that. So yeah, I agree. They could have done that. I always knew who he was. I absolutely knew since I was 7. I knew
sure.
I knew who Darth Vader was, and our generation did, and it just it shows you how things get muddled over time, right? I knew James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader, but that swagger, the way Darth Vader walks and moves, which nobody else can do. We saw that already when they have the other guy playing Darth Vader. I don't even know his name in Rogue One. You can just tell that's not Darth. He had this just walk, his freaking, and his body language was great. So yeah, it's, he lived to 85, and that's pretty old for a big guy like that. That's good. But he also got to be Darth Vader, and that's cool.
He got to wear the helmet, handle the lightsaber, got to be on the set and part of the magic. I think that's super cool.
Yep.
And he was in Hammer horror films as well. Played a lot of parts there. Stuntman.
He was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV show. So.
Okay.
What is the origin of the bestest ever? Asked Keeper of the Kraken for $2 Canadian. There is no origin. 2 people copulated and gave birth to this really amazing woman who was just amazing when she was an egg, when she was an embryo. Like her sperm was amazing too. So
that's true. Although if you're asking like the first use of it, it would have been in my Star Trek my original Star Trek Discovery video, where I was searching for a way to adequately convey my ultimate disdain and dripping contempt for Mikey Spock. And so the bestest ever was like the phrase that I came up with, and it kind of caught because holy shit, she was on the front wave of a whole string of bestest evers, including Ray, the amazing Wonder Ray. And then it was the so-called phony doctor, the Doctor, Captain Marvel,
bestest ever too. Well, shit, Westworld. I mean, it's pretty much everything now. The one thing I am kind of happy about is the all-female, the female written as a dude action thing is it's already burning out. People are just rolling their eyes at it. So we'll see if Pirates makes it to the light of day. I want that movie to come out because I think it'll be kind of the reverse Ghostbusters, which started it all. And I think that might be the end cap as far as just cringe remakes. So I want them to make that, unless they do A-Force. If they do A-Force, if Marvel does A-Force, then that is the content, YouTube content gods blessing us all. Blessing us all. That's all I want to say.
The V-Force.
Jesus. Alpha Prime for £5. Money walks, bullshit talks. How is Star Trek Discovery still on after no one's watching it? The ratings are in the toilet. How does this work? Content. They need content, and it's paid for by somebody else. So that's the only thing I can think of. I have no inside dope on that one.
Well, I tell you, that is just the stupidest goddamn thing. To go ahead and long-term damage to the point of ruination your franchise in order just to have some shit to play live on television on your main channel. Really? So you're going to make a couple of $1 million on advertising revenue as your audience goes bye-bye, as they're exposed to this shit and they realize, oh my God, this doesn't look like anything I ever wanted to see. Really? That's great.
I mean, that's the easiest answer, folks.
Just short-term gain. Short-term gain.
That's not even that. It's a perceived short-term
gain.
Right. So, I mean, the show doesn't trend. I mean, how many times we got to say it? And I don't know. Maybe they don't want to look. Maybe it's a perception thing. Maybe they can take the hit and don't look like they have this failed Star Trek. And it might be that, because they still have big plans for Star Trek. And if they cancel a Star Trek show, that could hurt any future investments. So they have to keep this thing rolling, but it's all a sham. It's all a facade. There is no, I mean, you can't create interest in something if it's not there. I mean, you know how you do that, CBS? I know this is like out of the box thinking. You tell a good story. You tell a good fucking story. You stay true to the canon and to the spirit of the show, and you retain fans, but they can't do that. So they're trying to create this facade so they can get investors to maybe start making movies again when we don't even know if movies will be a thing. I am absolutely flummoxed by the whole thing. I believe it's content. They just need shit to put on their streaming service that they're already having to rebrand and fold into another streaming service. And we know how this story's going to end. CBS Viacom will end up having to license their stuff out to Amazon or Netflix. That's what everybody's going to have to do, aside from maybe HBO Max and Disney Plus. Disney's got Hulu. Disney's going to be fine because they got Hulu. So they can just throw everything in the Hulu and they'll be fine. But everybody else, you know what? It'll be justice, because they're all going to have to use gatekeepers now. The gatekeepers will have to go to another gatekeeper. This was brought up. There is Netflix is buying a big old studio in New Mexico. They bought one, and they're putting more money into it. They're going to start making their own shit, not in Hollywood.
Right. They'd be crazy to go there now. Yep. They'd be crazy. So it's going to be a diaspora of Hollywood evacuees spreading out in search of fertile lands by which they can ply their trades. And God knows what effect this will have on the industry. I don't know, but it can't hurt.
Well, here's what effect no, it can't. And except if they make more woke garbage, and then it will hurt. And then scripted storytelling just isn't the most important thing anymore. I mean, again, that remains to be seen. This isn't like tracking a trend. I've talked about it on the live streams before. This is what we're witnessing is forced. What's happening to Star Trek, that was forced. If they could have made a Star Trek that everybody liked, I mean, they didn't have to fill it full of intersectional feminism and make it female centric. They just could have made Star Trek like garden variety average Star Trek, and it would have done better than this. They could have done the same with Doctor Who. They didn't have to switch it to a female. They could have made it a black male instead, and nobody would have complained, except for Anita Sarkeesian, who ended up complaining anyway. So they're going against the grain here. So they're bucking a lot of trends, or they're forcing them to be over before they were naturally going to be done with their progression. And we're in new territory now. I mean, it's utter destruction. And, occasionally they figure it out. Like then we get a Mandalorian, which we'll talk about, which clearly happened because they did stop and think maybe we shouldn't piss everybody off anymore.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Look, I was reporting these rumors that Disney was basically adopting a policy where they were kind of rolling up the red carpet for woke and not wanting it to, impact their business anymore because they are for a for-profit company, which points that the fact that The Mandalorian does not have a lot of woke shit in it, the fact that it's free of this identity politics crap that Kathleen Kennedy specializes in, would definitely reinforce the idea that Kennedy's influence has waned over at Lucasfilm, at least up until this point. Now, whether or not she's going to leave as scheduled when her contract is up, I don't know. I kind of thought that she was going to have her own production company and probably exit with a production deal for her production company with Disney. I thought that probably was what this Children of Blood and Bone was going to be, this kind of woke book, this young adult book. Remember, we were talking about it, that has an anti-police slant in it.
Yep.
Explicitly, like even in an afterword in a fantasy novel, this chick had to go off about, defunding the police and atrocities and so on and so forth. Great. That's special. But it was also thematically in the book, as I understand it. Okay, fine. As long as she's not screwing up Star Wars. Well, now it appears that even if she does stick around, it's going to be a situation. Yes, it's going to be a situation where she has to be hands off on Star Wars from now on. But they'll go ahead and let her do her own woke shit because, nobody cares about that crap and it's not going to make any difference. But, there you go.
No, if Kathleen, I mean, we'll talk about, let me read a couple super chats. So I guess we'll move into the Mandalorian. Cause this is it's all connected. I don't have my strings and my little push pins, but they're over there. It's all,
I see.
A whole fucking map. It's all connected, man.
It's the quickening.
It's exactly. Oh, got to do an exozone. I totally forgot it. Thursday was Thanksgiving. That's why I did.
Well, it was Thanksgiving. Yeah, we couldn't. Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. And you do your Thanksgiving show. So, which I a lot of, I thought was really good.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Of course. Now I'm not going to say everything's kumbaya Disney, because I still think there's a bunch of woke mofos there, and if they get
sure,
they could go back to it at any moment. And there is what they're pulling off with the Mandalorian. I almost titled this episode the Mandalorian a little bit, because it's there and it looks like they're going in the Filoni direction to me. That's just based on what I saw in this episode. We'll go over it because we both felt the same way about the episode.
We did,
which would be different from what other people felt about it.
It's true. It's funny that we both felt the same way, and other people were
on the last two.
No, it's true. It's true.
Because I really liked the Gina Carano one, but I will freely admit it's because Gina Carano was in it, and I like the Bo-Katan one too. I thought that was pretty good because Katie Sackhoff was in it, and I like her too.
I love both of them,
but
which is weird since we're such misogynists and haters and stuff. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Go figure.
Yeah. By the way, my wife's pregnant and barefoot in the kitchen right now. No, just kidding. I'm wearing a wife beater under
shackled or unshackled?
Shackled for sure. Come
on. Good. Well, otherwise she'd run.
Yep. Oh my God, what was that snake? Samuel L. Jackson.
Black Snake Moan.
Black Snake Moan. Yes. Not make that today.
No.
I thought that was good. I thought it was a good movie too.
I got a chain the bitch in the kitchen. She'll run. It's just, they do. They run.
I think the MCU I'm sorry, Nikki D, for $5. Do you think the MCU will garner the same attention as it did during Endgame once it returns? No,
not a chance.
Nope. No, that was magical what they did. That will not be repeated. I know I've actually witnessed a lot of the Marvel centric and channels out there going, oh, they can totally do it again. Okay, here's how you could do it again. You be Marvel Comics, you hire the right people for the role. You make the superhero look damn close to what it did in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
You remove any sign of identity politics from that. That's how it you still couldn't equal it, but you can come close because you can bring back Galactus. The Fantastic Four would have to look like the Fantastic Four. That means a blonde Johnny and a blonde Sue, and Reed Richards has got to be a white guy smoking a pipe with the little freaking whites here, and Ben Grimm is a New Yorker, and that's it. It's got to work, and he's basically got to be Jack Kirby, and the X-Men got to look like the X-Men. Wolverine's got to be this stocky, muscly dude, or bring back Hugh Jackman. I don't know. But do you think for 1 minute the Fantastic Four is going to look like Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four?
No, I don't. And I just honestly think personally that they're idiots if they don't do this. I said we need an entirely alternate Marvel universe. I would call it the Marvel pop art universe. I want it set in the 60s. I want it like with the costumes. I want Galactus to be a giant guy. I want it to have the preposterous plot points. I basically want a live action Incredibles.
Yep.
And it would be friendly for the whole family. It would have the advanced vocabulary that Stan Lee introduced for all the villains that waxed grandiloquent with their fanatical and maniacal schemes. Shit. I would watch every one of those 20 times in the theater.
Yep.
The sense of fun. And I'm no like prude, or God knows I'm not a prude, as you all know. But the idea of like a G-rated, the same level of dialogue and action in the comics, the Kirby 60s comics, holy shit, that would be like such a blast of fresh air, wholesome fresh air. That I think young and old alike would just flock to it. I think it'd be the biggest damn thing to hit theaters since Star Wars.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that was obvious from The Incredibles. The formula is there, and they won't do it because they're unwilling. See, this is all unwillingness. This is why it's bucking the trend. They feel like they can't have a movie with 4 white people in it. Yes, you can. The comic worked for decades. Now, I will argue that the Fantastic Four is probably the most difficult to adapt. But you could do it if you go full comic book. If you are unabashed, like, this is what this is. They wear blue costumes, unstable molecules, and they fight big purple guys or guys named Annihilus. That's exactly what we fucking want. And we got a taste of that in Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy was an unabashed comic book movie.
Yes.
And that's why it fucking worked. And in every single way. And they,
it was a beautiful update. It was a beautiful, I mean, because all the things that like Star-Lord cranking his middle finger up for the guards, like harmless little kind of pranks like that, which, I mean, you wouldn't see in the original Marvel comics, but I thought it was so much fun. It was joy. I haven't had that much fun in a movie since the actual Star Wars. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, this is this shit is fun. And they won't, I got this one in there too. I got like 6 copies of these, but I see it, I buy it.
You got 6 copies of the same one?
Yeah, I do. I have this horrible habit of buying. I'm like, it's only $8.
Sure.
I know I have like 5 other ones, but I'm going to open a shop. So I'm going to probably have it in there to sell, but look at this cover.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably just put it on my wall or like,
yeah.
Like, I love these. So good. But no, this is when Marvel was fun. This Marvel doesn't exist anymore. It's dead. It's fucking dead. Disney.
Yeah.
I call it Disney Marvel now. And so you got a lot out of that super chat, Nikki D. The MCU cannot equal what it did before. And as we look back on it, they failed at the end. That's right. They had a $2 billion failure. And I might make a video on this because it took me watching Endgame 4 times, and each time I disliked it more. I walked out of the movie going, that was great. And now I'm on my 4th. I did my 4th viewing, and I'm like, I hate it.
I've only seen it. I've only seen one. I've only seen it once. So I might change my mind.
It's so I'll break down why I hate it now. I mean, the obvious reasons: you didn't need to kill Tony Stark, and you didn't need to fucking age out Captain America, and that was just dumb. Marvel had done something they've been trying to do for decades, because Marvel's been pretty much beating DC's ass for decades, but they never had 2 superheroes as recognizable or as big as Superman and Batman. And they did it with 2 C-listers, like 2 heroes that they had trouble, like Captain America's been a solid, and Iron Man were solid Marvel characters, but they were never the biggest. I remember I liked them, but I'm the kind of asshole who doesn't like I don't like what's most popular. I like the second or third thing just to be a contrarian. So I'll do that. And that's why I always liked Iron Man and Cap. But I recognize that the sales were never good. They were never that popular. A lot of, most Marvel fans, all comic fans knew who they were, but Joe Normie might know who Captain America was because they saw them in that 70s TV show or something like that. But they have no idea what Iron Man is, and they wouldn't know if it was DC or Marvel until fairly recently. But then Iron Man became fucking as big as Batman. Captain America became as big as fucking Superman, and then they killed him off. Fucking
that was so stupid.
It's so
idiotic.
Because they think that role belongs to Chris Evans. Fucking 20 years, he's going to be a trivia question. Chris Evans. Oh, he was that guy who played Cap.
Yeah.
Not like he's a big movie star. Robert Downey Jr. is a big movie star. Okay. Probably one of the last. But Chris Evans, you retired a character for Chris Evans. He was a pretty good Johnny Storm. I got to say, he was a pretty good Johnny Storm in those terrible Fantastic Four movies. Shout out to comic skater John Malin, speedy recovery. Matt G for $2. How's John doing out there? Is he back from the hospital? John Malin was in the hospital with the coof. So speedy recovery. Mr. Malin.
Absolutely.
You need to hurry back and then get abused by your former coworkers at Marvel. They don't care about you and you don't care about them. Fuck them. You're doing great. John Malin is doing great on his own. He broke away from Marvel. He's one of those people who was actually, persecuted for his political beliefs, and they ran whisper networks and shit to get rid of him simply because he was a Trump supporter. I don't even know if he was a Trump supporter, simply because he was a Republican, not SJW. Which is basically you're a Nazi if you're not SJW. Jay Paula, I said it on Friday Night Tights, and I'll say it again, Gary. If Games Workshop thinks it's immune to COVID lockdown round 2, it might need a reality check very soon. Well, it depends if they're deemed essential. If they fall under entertainment, they might be an exception to the lockdown. That's talked about in my video. The reason they made a point to come out and make the entertainment industry essential is for the lockdown. It's not for the curfew. It's for the lockdown, which is coming any minute now. You're hearing them say cases, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, it just happened in the UK. And I don't even know if isn't the UK supposed to get off theirs pretty soon? I wonder how that's going.
I hope it's going well.
But I don't think Games Workshop would be immune to it. But they, my argument is no state can tell them to open or close. They think they can, but they can't. Have you seen the Rainbow Brute trailer? Says Cody Duffin for $2. I have not, but I've been hearing about Rainbow Brute for a long time. That's something Ethan's doing. And Nicholas Horton for £2 says RIP David Prowse. And I think that's a good segue into the Mandalorian, Doomcock.
Absolutely. The Mandalorian. I'll let you lead off on that, but I had reservations. I won't say what they are yet, but I always like these episodes. I enjoy them. I don't dread them. I never dreaded an episode of The Mandalorian like I dread STD or Westworld or, Wokeman or any of that shit. Even The Boys, I kind of semi-dreaded watching The Boys because you never knew what the fuck was going to happen and the characters are pretty unlikable and everything else. But I enjoy it. But that said, it is really the Blandalorian in a lot of ways. I guess the most positive thing I can say about it is that Rosario Dawson was great as Ahsoka. She just perfectly fine. I really enjoyed seeing her portrayal of her. I thought she did a hell of a job. I thought some of the action that she was in was really good, and some of the action was I was going, what the fuck are they thinking? But Gary, go ahead. What do you think?
I felt the same way. I mean, I'm glad. Okay, I will preface this like I preface every. Sorry, folks, but there's always somebody watching for the first time. So, I watched The Mandalorian as a very casual viewer, I am no longer a Star Wars fan, meaning I do not purchase Star Wars things. I don't buy hats, shirts, toys, anything. And I used to be a huge Star Wars fan who spent thousands of dollars on comics and toys and merchandise, and was part of the original fan club back in the day. Yeah, been a fan for decades and decades. And I gave all of my Star Wars figures away after The Last Jedi to my patrons. And that's it. I'm not coming back. There's no reason for me to come back. The Mandalorian isn't good enough for me to come back, or for anybody to come back. I don't think it's even good enough to begin the healing with the Star Wars fandom. What it is it stopped the bleeding. What it isn't is woke, filled with intersectional feminism, but it's starting to creep in. Oh yeah, it is. Oh yes, it is. Is it horrifically bad? No, I'm just seeing signs. It's not anything that takes me out of the show. I think out of all the franchises, it's probably, I mean, this isn't saying much, but Star Wars is probably the most healthy right now because they have something that doesn't attack and alienate fans. They're making something that the fans want. It looks reasonably like Star Wars. It's competently made. Visually, it's pretty freaking stunning. I have to say that. I think it's a very good show. I love that the technology that Disney made, or Lucasfilm, for how they film this thing is brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and that could save genre. I don't like the music, but I thought the music was pretty decent in this episode. I thought it fit in this episode, so I'll say there. It didn't take me out of it. I still think, for the most part, I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm getting used to it. It's not a big deal. The Mandalorian is, somebody put it like this is Batman Brave and the Bold. It's Batman Brave and the Bold. I'm sorry I got that from somebody in the chat, but if you remember that cartoon, which was great, it was always about the guest star.
Sure.
And not really about Batman. And that's what the Mandalorian is. And the last two episodes, I've really liked the guest stars. Bo-Katan, played by Katie Sackhoff, thought she was great. Gina Carano was brilliant. Carl Weathers was great. I thought he did a good job directing. This episode, feel exactly the same way with DOOMCOCK. I liked Ahsoka Tano. I thought Rosario Dawson, thought she was a little muted, but she looked the fucking part. I was like, whoa, that was brilliant. But nothing fucking happened except for the information dump. So we are halfway through. We get Baby Yoda's name, which I've already forgot. Grogu or something.
Grogu.
He's fucking Baby Yoda. And we got a name at the end, which doesn't relate to this series at all. It relates to a spin-off series that they're probably going to do. So it really didn't move. We went on a couple side quests, but as far as the story of the Mandalorian, the Mandalorian story didn't move forward. Baby Yoda's did a little bit. I think it muddled the shit with the Force. Not that that's not muddled already, and we can talk about that. But I agree with you, DOOMCOCK. There was a good, we talked about this before. There was a good 7 or 8 minutes they could have cut out of the episode of just
easily. It dragged. Sitting her, like, staring at Baby Yoda adoringly and communing with him silently, and Jesus Christ. And lots of like annoying things, like for instance, the opening where she is moving through the mist and chopping people right and left and just like being a nightmare, which she would absolutely be, given her powers and her abilities. That was super cool. Really cool opening. Really nicely done. Beautiful. Although they kind of blow it when she goes to the city gates and she stands there out of the mist and talks to them. Why don't they shoot at her there?
I don't know.
What, you know, they're trying to shoot her. They're trying to kill her in the mist. She stands there. They're up on the battlements. Why does nobody take a pot shot at her? You know, she would have deflected it, but
here's what I thought was going on, and I was wrong. I thought they were trying to hold back on her. I thought there was some connection or something. Like they didn't want her to die. That was my explanation, and ended up being completely wrong. I'm like, well, they're obviously, well, for one, they're letting her mow through those. Were those people she was killing, or
I couldn't tell if they were robots or people.
Who knows? I
couldn't tell. But you were right, Gary. Certainly the producers were not letting her get killed, so they were protecting her. to some extent. But I have to say, look, I thought that opening was damn fun, and seeing her use her powers was kick-ass. And then for the finale, we have her standing there toe-to-toe with a chick with a Beskar spear. Where the fuck is the rest of the Force? Where is force pushing? Where is jumping and somersaulting? Where is hurling stuff at her and shit like that?
Her armor.
Where's the simple thing? If she's holding the damn thing, slide your lightsaber down the pole and chop her fingers off.
Yeah. Yes.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
That's
Done.
it. Ta-da! Easy.
Yeah, there's a reason like you still use a lightsaber over Beskar. People would use it because Beskar, it's flawed. And yeah, that's the part that I really had a problem with. I'm like, Ahsoka could have like beat her in a second. Does she want? But she wanted her to live for the information, and well, we obviously got it at the end. We don't know what happened to I forgot her name. I'm gonna look it up. Damn,
you could just chop her fingers off, and then that's that. Push her in the water for God's sakes.
Governor. No, that's not her. It was Morgan Elsbeth. So, and she knew where Grand Admiral Thrawn was, who's not even the big baddie in this show because we have him off Gideon. So Pedro Pascal. Wow. Wait a minute. Okay. Then Grace Randolph's rumors were kind of true. They were. She said there would be a big story shift and we would focus on other characters and the Mandalorian would take a back seat. Now, I think she was making it sound like he wouldn't be in the show at all, which is not
I mean,
true.
that's what, no, that's not true. Dude, Grace Randolph wasn't right unless you say, look, he's been in the back seat for most of the show. You're talking about, we just said that the guest stars are the real point of the show. He's been in the back seat the whole fucking thing.
I mean, I don't want to like it. I don't care. I'm not a big fan of hers, but and I don't know if this was her rumor or if she was reading an article. I just remember watching her video where she said halfway through the season, there would be a shift and we'd focus on other characters. Well, we've certainly done that, but I mean, honestly, aside from Baby Yoda. And what did we find out? So we found out, there's two basic fight scenes. And one of them was cool. One of them wasn't. And the Mandalorian was bringing up the rear. And the boys stayed out and fought while the big girls fought. And we didn't even get to see half of that fight, by the way.
No, it was bad. Look, you've got Rosario Dawson and this other chick like banging Beskars. And then you cut to, Michael Biehn out there with the Mandalorian, and they're just standing there. And then Michael Biehn says, it sounds like they're fighting. Mandalorian say, yeah. They just stand there staring at each other for a minute or two. And then you cut back, and then they're still doing the wong, wong, and it's just the same fucking thing. They haven't shifted. She hasn't jumped. She hasn't pushed. She hasn't done anything. Come on. That is not a Jedi battle. That's like a bargain basement, like budget Jedi battle where we can't have her jump around because we don't have the budget for the wires or some shit. Come on.
And how does Disney not have the budget for that? Seriously.
I don't know. Blew it on the tree stumps out there. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
dude, that was a bad battle at the end. Come on.
It was. Oh, it was completely flawed. The one in the beginning was good.
That was good. That was really good. Really dramatic, moving in and out of the mist. And, although it would have been better if the opponents had been a little bit more dynamic. I mean, she really did just mow them down like they were robots. Maybe they were robots. I don't know.
Yeah. This
show has a really kind of sad, bordering on pathetic fear of bloodshed. Like, God damn it. In the first Star Wars, we saw a severed arm in the cantina that Obi-Wan chopped off with a lightsaber. We saw blood, for God's sakes. So we can't even see that anymore?
No. I mean, it's a cartoon. So, and this is as hardcore as Disney's going to get. So for those...
Well, that's sad.
You know what? You know why the EU fans loved the EU so much? It was grown-up Star Wars. It was fucking Star Wars that took that evolutionary leap into getting
Mhm.
way more sophisticated and doing some really, you know what, it leaned into the fantasy aspect of it.
Mhm.
Like they really got dark and fucking Greek and mythological in a lot of ways. That's why they liked it. And I know shit about the EU. I know I've read comics. That's it. But that's why it really did move Star Wars forward. So, I
Mhm.
mean, Disney getting rid of it was one of the biggest slaps in the face of any fandom ever. And now they're going to try to do light versions of it, which is going to make it even worse. It's going to make it worse. And when you have a fucking Mandalorian show, I mean, it should be rated R. It should be a rated R show. This is a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And
I agree. I mean, or at least
hardcore.
PG-13 at
Yeah.
least.
It's not even, it's PG. It's straight up just PG. But if you wanted to start a true, this is where Disney, I think they're starting to, well, I heard rumors that they're changing their mind because they're going to have to. You can't sit there and have an entire streaming service at PG-13.
No.
It doesn't work. For one, we're not going in the movie theaters. We're watching this shit in our houses, and the parents are right there, and they can say, "Oh, turn your head," or whatever for one scene.
Right.
And honestly, not that I'm father of the year or anything like that, but my kid's 15. He can handle some shit. Like I let him watch The Joker. He wanted to watch The Joker. He can watch The Joker. I just
Sure.
he wants to read Watchmen. I let him read Watchmen. It's fine. That was a very emotional moment. Well, I didn't think I almost got choked up when he asked me that. I'm all, really? You want to read Watchmen? Such a good boy. So yeah, it's stupid. You're right. You're just hamstringing yourself, or hamstrung. You're hamstrung when you do this. You're tying one hand behind your back, and then you tell this really simplistic storytelling. And please stop. Okay, I get it. It's not woke. It's for now. It's not woke. But you can't say something good by going, well, at least it's not woke. That lasts for a season. That lasts for one season. You only get one season of that. You don't get two. And well, at least it's good Star Wars, and at least we're arguing about the plot. What plot? What plot? We got the baby's name a season and a half in.
Yeah, that's it. I don't even really know what the hell was going on other than she wanted a name. I mean, these things are like bare bones. I have heard jokes with more elaborate plots than these shows. I honestly, I mean, it's a lot of flair, a lot of visual goodness, a few character moments here or there. They're kind of spotty, but still, I think Baby Yoda gets the lion's share of them. But man, these are bare bones things. Whew, man, talk about lean.
I was thinking about, what was that? Is it the Aristocrats? Where the same comedian, or they get a bunch
Yes, the Aristocrats, where all the different comedians tell their version of the joke, which is trying to make it more elaborate and more obscene than the next guy. It's like a kind of a tradition among comedians.
Yes. I gotta watch that again. It's got Billy Connolly in it too, and George Carlin. But yeah,
It was fun. Gilbert Gottfried was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh man, when you said that, it made me think of it. No, this is the way. I mean, we get it, Disney. You were scared. You did your Baby Yoda steps and stuff, but now there's only 3 episodes left of the season. And what has the Mandalorian done? He was tasked with taking the baby back to his kind. We're 5 episodes in, and he did, and his kind doesn't want anything to do with him, except his kind sent him off to another Jedi. So, so you think in season 5, do you think this show's gonna, I think people are still expecting it to like grow into a full show by season 5. No, this is it. This is what you're going to get.
I'm afraid so. And it's still, so they're trying to say that Baby Yoda was trained like when he was 18 or something like that is what the math works out to, or some shit like that.
During or before the Clone Wars, right?
Right.
Or during. And then he was hidden when Order 66 came. By who? That's going to be another mystery that might take an entire season to tell. I'm guessing it's Anakin. Anakin decided not to kill one. I don't know.
I doubt it.
No,
I don't know. But here's the problem. Look, they're trying to have it both ways. It's kind of like the AI in Star Trek Disgracery. They're trying to have it both ways, that it's an AI and it's trying to learn to be an AI. If Grogu, I want to call him Baby Yoda, but if Grogu has had Force training and everything else, you can't have him also acting like a little baby. He acts like a little baby the whole fucking time, obsessed with getting the ball. And let me tell you something. If he was trained with the Force and he's actually cognizant and he's like a mature adult, eating those eggs was really, really, really dickish. Like I was like making fun of everybody that was bitching about him eating the eggs. I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was funny, but I wasn't like offended. I'm like, well, he's a kid and he just wants what he wants. And he's not cognizant of really that he's doing that wrong, except like a kid or a dog even is cognizant about, getting into the bureau and eating the dog biscuits, the cabinet under the sink or something. When they're bad, it's in an innocent way. But if Baby Yoda fucking knows that those eggs are hers and how eggs work and everything, and he's still eating them, that is a straight up dick move. And also Baby Yoda has been pretty slow to use the Force to help people a lot, kind of like a baby, like, oh, I think I sense danger and stuff. But if Baby Yoda's like, an articulate, maybe he's mute, I don't know. But if he has that level of maturity, he's been a dick throughout this whole fucking thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. Maybe they have really messed up where they're trying to make it both that he's been trained by the Force since he was 18 and that he's still a baby. So there's some kind of problem.
Yeah. Well, they stopped telling the Mandalorian story, right?
Right.
So in season 1, there was
he doesn't have a story.
They were telling his story. They were. I mean, we got his back. We found out his name. We got, he was a foundling, and by the end, it was really slow. It dragged. I still felt like it was at times, but I felt like I got the Mandalorian story, and it felt like his show. Mm-hmm. It did. I know people say, hey, baby, it still felt like his show. This does not feel like his show at all.
No. And the whole thing with Baby Yoda, that dichotomy of the acting between a mature, trained Jedi and, a baby. The only way that you could maybe explain it is some form of dissociation. Like maybe this character got brought through the veil of the Force or something in such a way that not all of him transferred, kind of like Spock in his Katra in Star Trek 3, where there's some essential part of Grogu is separated from Grogu because he came through the veil or something. Hell, for all we know, this Grogu thing could be a complete snow job, just a cover up. That really, what if this is an alternate universe? Yoda brought through the veil of the Force to ultimately close it and be a key to reshaping the sequel trilogy, like getting it out of existence, but during that process, maybe he was dissociated or something. They better have something like that, because otherwise this is kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't think the veil can work like that with throwing like a kid through it. But
well, you could. I mean, it's a connection to all different points in time and space.
Or God, I remember I watched the episode. You can't. It's not something you can just walk through.
No, you've got to really have power.
But there's something else, and I can't remember what it is because I only watched the episode once. But I think it's something to do with cloning. I because they said he's got that. So Ahsoka sits down and communicates with him, kind of, which is very ambiguous. So
yes,
he's basically poking around his thoughts, and he's probably providing her the thoughts that she needs to see, because they're not speaking to each other. So that's what I got out of it. And she said that there is a part where he remembers being with all the Padawans at Coruscant, But then his memory goes dark. And his memory goes dark for a while. And again, that's pretty ambiguous. It could be that, he's a clone and he's remembering things wrong, or they were experimenting on him during this time using the dark side of the Force, and it obscured his memory. I don't know. I don't really care, because here's when I heard this new mystery get set up, I'm like, oh, this is something that'll get answered late next season. So I'm not going to concern myself with it right now, because it's so low information, and it's mystery box. This is we're fucking straight up mystery boxing our way right through Star Wars. And I'm like, because mystery box always ends in disappointment. So I think it would just be a clone of maybe Yoda's dead kid or something. Who knows? And again, it doesn't matter, because he's not going to matter in the story, because he wasn't brought up once in the Force, in the Disney trilogy, which is supposed to be the big story. That's the center of the universe. That was the greatest story ever told in the Disney, according to them, because that's what they focused all their time and resources on. And this Mandalorian story is just a side story, which I'm afraid is there to support the horrible Disney trilogy eventually. And then what they're doing is they're making this shit up as they go. And they are doing what I thought they would do after I reviewed the first episode. I said in that episode, Favreau should be in charge. Fucking Mandalorian is your Iron Man. I'm not the only one who said this. This is an exclusive to me. And you just use this to create your new universe. And that's what they're doing. And they're bringing in the Filoni universe. Here comes Star Wars Rebels. I think this could lead into like resolution from that, because that was left pretty open-ended. Maybe space whales come back.
Well, that would be bad if the space whale from
fucking Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, if that space whale came back and Harry Mudd came out of there
with his fucking hat on. Yeah. The only cool thing, I would get the Bendu, get Tom Baker to voice that again. That was pretty cool. Rebels. Yeah, I didn't like Rebels very much. I liked the scenes they showed between Ahsoka and Darth Vader.
Right.
But I thought it was pretty woke, and Sabine, I couldn't. Well, not a fan.
I tell you, I didn't really watch Rebels to start with. I watched the very first episode. I did not like the little spunky, foul-mouthed robot. I thought it was very gimmicky. And then they had a major action sequence that was just basically rotoscoped right out of Star Wars. And I said, yeah, this is not for me.
I can't. What was the robot's name? I watched this
Spunky or Sparky or Dickhead or I can't remember what it is. I didn't watch Rebels.
Thrawn was absolutely lame in it. So that's the only thing I remember. But then I didn't like Sabine Wren. Not a fan again. But that's also, coming out of the whole Disney trilogy turned me off from the get-go. So after Force Awakens, I was excited before Force Awakens. And when they didn't put Han, Luke, and Leia in the same movie together, and then they killed Han, that was kind of it for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Jesus, oh, absolutely. The poster was it for me, man. I didn't go see the movie in theaters because the poster gave away that it was a joke. It was a tragic joke, dude. The Star Killer base, all of it. It was just so obviously a complete and total rip-off remake of what came before. And I thought, oh, Jar Jar Abrams, you piece of filth, you cinematic antichrist. I am not going to play along with this crap. And by God, I was right. Jesus Christ. Anyone that had watched the damn thing and saw in the first, 4 minutes that Max von Sydow is completely wasted, literally and symbolically. You get an actor like that and you give him 5 lines and then snuff him. Fuck you.
And you use those 5 lines to disrespect George Lucas.
Yes.
They're
it's just
to make things right. Fuck you. You made things worse. And, people are still talking about it, but like, I don't get, like, The Mandalorian is not a terrible show. If you enjoy it, that's cool. I don't know how you could be a Star Wars fan who liked the original trilogy. I mean, there's different types of Star Wars fans. So certainly you could be like a prequel fan and enjoy it. I get it. That's fine. No, just for me, and I'm not saying I'm a better Star Wars fan. I was, I just was there when it was what it really was,
Yeah.
and that was altered even by the great George Lucas and fucking midichlorians, which was stupid as fuck. And I still think is stupid as fuck. And that will never change my mind on that. That's not what the Force was. That's not ever what it was explained to be when I was a kid. And it was going to get worse. So Bob Iger wasn't wrong when he heard that George Lucas wanted midichlorians to be like, basically like humans were going to be like fucking vehicles for these little midichlorians to control us or something, or control the people. It was dumb. And thank God they didn't do that. And I know that's just one of the versions George had. George likes to change shit a lot, and that's fine.
He really does. Look, I just want to say that I have basically figured out a way to fix the whole midichlorian thing. The midichlorians don't bother me anymore, and I'll tell you why. I don't think you could make a case that the midichlorians do not generate the Force. The midichlorians are like a byproduct of the Force. In other words, that these microscopic life forms thrive in Force users. And so you can very easily detect when someone is strong in the Force just by the number of midichlorians that they have in their blood. But it's not as if the midichlorians generate the Force. It's because of how strong they channel the Force, and they feed off the Force or something like that.
That's
it's
not how it's represented in the story, though.
But he's got a test to say, the midichlorian count is off the chart. Well, that would basically say that Anakin's power was incredible. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like like bumps on your willy or something indicate an STD or something. You know what I mean?
Display his power. That would have been good enough for me. I'll never like the midichlorian thing.
I don't like them.
Yeah,
I don't like them. But I'm saying at least I could maybe live with something like that if that was the case, that they are coincident with levels of the Force, but not the causal element of the Force. I think that's a distinction I could live with.
I could have lived with a lot of things till Disney trilogy came along.
Well, yeah, now that killed it. It's all a moot point.
Exactly.
But the Disney fucking trilogy is not
Mansplainer for $24.99 says, how in the name of Kaylee does Tilly get promoted faster than the great Harry Kim? She jumped over how many seasoned officers? STD is without logic. We'll get to that, Mansplainer. We'll get to that.
Yes.
So do you think we'll see Ahsoka Tano again the rest of the season? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Do you?
I don't think so. We got 3 episodes left. I don't know who's directing what.
No. In fact, we may never see her on The Mandalorian ever again. I bet she's going to get her own spinoff series. And I bet you Thrawn will be in that spinoff series, not in The Mandalorian.
So he's off to another planet to find, what?
I don't know.
How many Jedis are left? So there's Ezra out somewhere. We don't know if they found him or not. Probably not. And then there's Luke. So we're going to get Luke.
Well, I look, the problem with getting Luke is that you're going to have to recast him if you're going back in time like this. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And look, if there's just a big canon problem with all of this. If there's all these fucking Jedi that are out there then why did Yoda say, that boy is our last hope? No, there is another who is Leia. But where the hell were all these Jedi when you know all this Death Star shit was going down? You know what? I think it causes all sorts of problems.
Yes, it makes their story like Luke, Han, and Leia's story gets less important as they go on. Thrawn's still out there, you know, shit. Palpatine's still out there. It was kind of an L at this point. They just, you know, they won a victory. They won a battle.
Yeah.
But they didn't win the Star Wars.
No. And in the meantime, a whole bunch of Jedi's pissed off for a whole long time to the point of being deserters, for God's sakes.
Yeah. We'll see where they go from here. I'm sure they have a plan. Because they couldn't possibly make more Star Wars without a plan, could they? They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All I can say is I think that this show is one of the rare shows that is still entertaining because I do enjoy it. But is it all it should be? No. I don't think it's a disgrace. I think that there are good and bad parts in every single episode. And in general, I give all of these episodes a B, which is, good. But I have very high standards personally. And so I'm always going to be praising the things that I thought stood out and calling attention to the shortcomings. And it's done with an eye towards maintaining standards because I don't want the fan base to get so complacent and desperate for entertainment that they stop looking for excellence. I think that is not serving anyone. It's not a hate thing. It's a love thing. I want Star Wars to be better. And I think we have to hone our critical thinking faculties in that regard. So even things that we enjoy and like, we still should say, well, this is what was really great about it. This is what needs to be better. And it's not a negative thing, in my opinion.
No, we're nerds. We criticize and we're criticizing for the plot, but no, it's not. Dude, this is light years better than Star Trek. I'll watch this episode again. Definitely watch it again. But I generally watch them twice to review them. I think normally I'd probably just watch them once because I don't feel like I'm missing anything. But I like the kind of show, and this is just me. Not every show needs to be like this, of course, but I like the kind of show that makes me think, and maybe I got to watch it again. I love that kind of show. And I think when you're, going for something behind a paywall, you expect a little more. And, visually we get it. Absolutely with the show. Again, it just, look at how much like Mandalorian and Star Trek Discovery are supposedly spending around the same amount per episode. And it doesn't even look like, Star Wars looks cinematic. And Star Trek.
They do a beautiful job. Really capturing some great special effects. And it looks beautiful. Yep. I wish the music was a lot better.
Yeah,
I'm not crazy about the music.
Me neither. All right. So, but I would give this episode, I like the last two better than this one. I know people were really excited, but Rosario Dawson looked great as Ahsoka. She looked like spot on, really good. And that was impressive. I thought it was impressive. So there's a lot of great potential there for Star Wars fans to have a lot of fun in the future. I will be, I'll be observing, but I'm not going to be into it. I'm just not. You can't just wash away The Last Jedi that much. And I've got better things to do than invest my time and money in a company that spent so much time telling me to fuck off. Like all of a sudden, like they do one nice thing, and we've made this equation before. It's like, oh, he didn't hit me today. We're back in love. No, it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. I'm very cognizant of the fact that my approval of the Mandalorian and my enjoyment of the Mandalorian is limited to the extent that I expect that they will not intersect with the Disney sequel trilogy, that they are not on a march towards validating Palpatine being alive, validating Rey, validating all of the shit that happens in the sequels. They do that, Mandalorian is dead to me and Star Wars is finished. So they better not do that. They better not turn this goddamn show into a fucking prequel to the Disney sequel trilogy. They better actually have it either have nothing to do with that shit or be a rebuttal, a retraction, an apology, if not an actual tacit cancellation of the Disney sequel trilogy. If they don't do that, it's fucked for me. This is their last life support. They are on the iron lung. Okay. They better not do this shit.
No, and I've observed something really interesting. So the Mandalorian has energized the Star Wars fans that were left. I think they've greatly over-exaggerated how many people Baby Yoda has actually brought in to view the show. I think they sell a lot of Baby Yoda product to people who don't regularly watch the show, which is fine because they can make more money that way. But as far as like interest in this show, I still say it's very tepid for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's playing out like a hit, like a regular hit TV show. A regular hit TV show, Star Wars, though, should be phenomenal. Everybody should be talking about it, and everybody isn't talking about it. There's a lot of people talking about it on Twitter, but like normies in particular. I think you brought in a lot of Karens and soccer moms with Baby Yoda, but I don't think they're watching the show regularly because, the show performs well to Star Wars fans, and it needs to bring more than that in. So we'll see. We'll see if it's got staying power too. But they're on the right direction. At least they're not fucking things up. And I guess, I don't know how long you can keep saying that, but like Disney is clearly not fucking things up right now. And that's good. That's good. Like that. But like, that's like, again, praising, if a new dad comes in and he feeds the kid or changes a diaper, he's like, look, honey, I changed the diaper, and the wife should say, well, yeah, you did your fucking job. Or you want an award? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to change the kids' diapers and not look for a reward for it. And that's what we're at with Star Wars. We're rewarding them for not sucking. And I don't know how much longer that goes on. Maybe forever. I don't know. Star Wars fans want to love Star Wars. That's all they've ever wanted to do. And, all these BBC, Lucasfilm, CBS had to try really hard to tell people to fuck off, and they wouldn't for a while. So another week, another Inquisition of the Pretenders. We are here with the voices of Gary and Doomcock to speak the truth and speak our thoughts tonight. Well, thank you, Larry, for $5. Yes, we will call out the Pretenders. There's actual actors in Hollywood too, and I will refer to them as actors. Like Matthew McConaughey is an actor, Kurt Russell is an actor, and Tom Hardy, actor, Christian Bale, gifted at his craft. And then there's, pretenders, people who are just either pretty looking or they used to be relevant and good at their job, but then they just turn into political hacktivists and, morons. Harkness Lives Matter. Brotherhood of Karn. Says Matt Rottenstein for $5. Harkness Lives Matter. The Brotherhood of Karn. Why not? Jack Harkness. Of course, the Sisterhood of Karn is related. I wonder how that affects them. This whole fucking canon change now. I didn't even think about that. Because they have like these elixirs. So they're kind of an offshoot of the Time Lords, and they were in recently with the Night of the Doctor and stuff. I wonder how the canon changes affect them. That'll be interesting.
I don't know.
Oh, they'll probably be, they'll stunning and brave because they're women. So why not? But yes, change it. Jack Harkness Live does matter. It does matter, but it's being destroyed by entering into the wonderful world of the first female Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. Southeastern Kaiju for $5. Who will pilot the Rocinante if there's no Alex Casambar? Kamal. Will he get the Serenity treatment? R.I.P. Haben Washburn. Oh, Wash. Fucking, that was so terrible.
Oh, man. I'm a leaf on the wind.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Cass will be killed off. And I don't know how the show works without Cass Ambar. I think he's an integral part of it. And I'm kind of disappointed that they got rid of him. Based on what I've heard, he was just a flirter. That was it. So if he did something worse than that, then okay, sure. And that's too bad. But as far as I know, I think he just flirted a lot.
So flirting is now forbidden, huh?
Yeah, but I don't know if there was something more than that. I don't know how you end. We didn't talk. The Expanse was canceled. It's going to get one more season, and I don't know how they end it. I guess they got a plan.
Well, that's the problem. And you would know better than I, because you've read the books, how much of a story is left and whether they'd have any chance whatsoever of finishing things. I know that there's a big segment where they do like a flash forward in time or a flashback or some time shift that maybe could be irrelevant and forgotten about. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do the time jump. So
no, they can't anymore.
And they also have a big bad guy to introduce. So I guess if they introduce him in the first 2 episodes of this season, it could kind of work. But there's a reason they had to do the big time jump because this is a scientifically, they try to explain this show. They try to make stuff actually make scientific sense. So distance matters. Like they don't have light speed. That's why they've got the rings. But it takes months to get from Earth to Jupiter, or not Jupiter, but to the rings. Right. So they're going to have to figure out a way with that, because the reason they did the time jump is because they've opened up the rings and there's a planet out there, but the planet's like far away. It's got a ring next to it. That's a resource. It's got resources on it. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, and you also have the mystery that they introduced of who killed the proto-molecule. Right? And that's something I'll tell you right now, they haven't answered yet. They haven't answered the question. That's going to be in the last book. So we don't know who killed the proto-molecule. So it depends, I guess, when that book comes out. And I guess
Colonel Mustard with a pipe in the drawing room.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Or the wrench.
Solved.
That's who killed the proto-molecule. I'm looking forward to this season, though. God, I need some good television, Southeastern Kaiju.
I know. But, dude, the problem is that, look, it's not like they have 2 seasons to wrap up the story, because the season that we're about to get was before the cancellation. So, no matter what, they only really have 1 season to wrap up the entire story, because they, probably were not planning on being canceled. That's bad. That's really bad. And yeah. I don't know how that's going to work out.
I think this show could have gone 10 seasons. I firmly believe that. I think it's some of the best television ever made.
Yeah.
I think it's inclusivity and diversity done right. They've only recently started talking about it, which really, and it's the access media talking about it. But I think it's cringe when they bring it up. I thought they were always above that, they cared about the story first, and that's what gave us authentic characters. I fear that they'll turn Bobby. I have more respect. I have a lot of respect for Naren Shankar, the showrunner. Respect for this guy. I don't think he would let his show turn into a woke mess, but we can't count it out either. And that would be such a tragedy, because this is the show you use it as an example. This is everything you want. Well, of course we know the real fans, we just want good stories, and the identitarians will never be happy. They'll find something wrong with the show. So fuck that. They're not even in this equation. But let's talk about like just the show itself. Like last season, a little rushed. The end of season 3, a little rushed, but still very rewatchable and enjoyable. I still think season 1 and 2 are fucking just perfect. I also think, people liked Miller. People like the character of Miller a lot, and they miss him.
God, me too. Is my favorite because I have a big weakness for, detectives and trench coat, and fedoras. I mean, having this modern detective was my favorite character. So I do miss him.
Yeah, I do too. And I think they kind of should have kept him in. I think he played really well against Holden, and I think Holden's kind of lost without him. And then your focus goes to Amos. Amos easily becomes the best character after that.
Yeah.
But no, then they brought in Ashford the last 2 seasons, who was great. Just, I mean, so much better than he was in the book. The book, he was terrible. And in the show, like, I liked him as much as I like Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones. That's how much I like this character. He instantly became like one of my favorite characters, and they killed him again. Like, it was a good death, though. I mean, it's like, so I would say they had to. Okay, let me ask you a question, Doomcock.
Yeah,
if they released weekly in season 4, like we had begged them to do, would they have canceled the show?
No, that's the fucking problem. I honestly, that's the thing I thought when I heard it. I just stomped around and I shook my head and I said, well, too late now. If they had done that, word would have spread. We would have really, really spread that gospel every week, doing reviews, inspiring people in chats to debate it, maybe stirring up a ruckus, maybe making it trend on Twitter. In the end, it's a damn shame that they didn't do this and they missed their chance. We were screaming, we were begging them, and they wouldn't listen. And they usually do listen. They're very good about it. It must have been a business thing, maybe from Bezos himself. Who the hell knows? But it was a damn sad mistake. And God damn it, it cost them. And I wish that they had just waited till the end of this season when they're going to, release it weekly before they made that call. Jesus, why didn't they do that?
I don't know. I don't know what kept them from doing that. And obviously they learned from it because the boys became weekly right after that. And you know what they did? They didn't listen to the people in the beginning who were bitching like crazy. And then they counted their money at the end of the season because they had a bunch of people covering the boys weekly, and it became their biggest show.
Yeah.
And yeah, we could sit there and say, I told you so. Everybody told you so. We all told you so. You could always stream it later. The Expanse, if you guys don't know, if you're not familiar with the show, it's a very good show. Check it out. It was on Sci-Fi for 3 seasons, got canceled. Then it got saved by Amazon. Then it had to take a big year break. And then they released it all at once 3 days before The Fall of Skywalker came out. Just dumb. It was just a dumb move. And we were begging them not to do it. We're like, release it weekly, release it weekly. And I like that I know I'm a broken record with that, but I'll remind you, the Umbrella Academy, which came out August 31st, if they would have released that weekly, it would have only ended a month and a half ago. People would have been talking about that show. You're like, Umbrella Academy. Oh yeah, I remember that show. It came out in the summer. Yeah.
Yep.
You're releasing these things like movies, but they're TV shows. And for one, I want you to listen to us some more. Release it at the same time. Don't drop it in the middle of the night. Give us a time and release it at that time.
Yes.
You guys are getting there. I know you're streaming and you want to do everything different, but if you want to have a Game of Thrones, which Jeff Bezos wants, then you need to do what Game of Thrones did. Release on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I agree. And be steady, because then people look forward to that time.
Yep.
And they, all watch at the same time. And they get online and they talk and they tweet, and it builds momentum.
Yeah. You got people watching it live and tweeting it together, right? And that causes it to trend, which is free advertising. And then people get that FOMO going, fear of missing out. Like, oh, what am I missing out? What am I missing out? What am I missing out? And then they start watching it. And it's also up to the fandoms to be, especially when the show is young, to be welcoming, I think, and not overly political.
Yeah.
Fans. So you want as many people as possible to watch your show. So remember that. Sam Whiskey. Hail Nerdrotic and Doomcock. After watching the Doctor Who trailer, I realize now how much I missed Leela and K9. Right? Oh, yes. I got a Leela figure right there. Little Migo Leela. I mean, it looks kind of terrible, but I like it.
Oh, yeah. I've got a couple of canines. Really nice. I like them.
Yep. I got the radio controlled one.
Ooh, nice.
K9 is police related though, like you said last week, so I don't think he'll be canceled.
Oh no! And the police box will have to go away. Yep. It will be like I don't know, unemployment queue or something instead of police box.
That's what it should be.
The dole queue. I'm on the dole. Yeah.
Yeah, with no Expanse. And then, like, who knows when the Orville's coming out?
Yeah. I heard they opened up and started shooting the Orville again and then stopped again.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It doesn't look good, man, at that point. It just doesn't look good. I hope it works out, but it's just, I mean, it's going to be tough for Hollywood. But they're going to be exempt, so they'll be able to work. I don't know what they're stopping for because they get to work unless they want to, show a little solidarity for the worker. But I released a video earlier, and I hope people heard what I said. I want everybody to work. I want everybody to work and just be, practice, be safe. That's all. Be an adult. Practice your social distancing. And continue to work because I think the COOF is going to do what the COOF's going to do no matter what we do. So we might as well keep the world going and really, and we need to protect the vulnerable. That's it. We're not all vulnerable.
Right.
And you can't save everybody either. And if that's me, if somebody, probably said, what if it happens to you? Then my fucking number's up and I got nothing to worry about. Bobby Lane for $5. Hail Gary, hail Doomcock. In your opinion, why did they need to change the Doctor's gender when they already had Dr. River Song, who was a time lady? They didn't need to change the Doctor's gender. And I've said from the beginning, because I'm tired of fucking using caveats and being, basically on the defensive all the time. Fuck that shit. I don't have to believe what some intersectional feminists believe. I am a Doctor Who fan. I didn't watch the Doctor Who for the Doctor to be a female. And there's nothing sexual about it. That's what I watched. That's what I was used to for a long, long time. And you can't just go, he's got teats now, and she's got teats now, and there's no difference. No, there is a difference. And I don't take it seriously, and it's a joke. And then when I can see your motivation behind it, that makes it worse. If I thought for a minute they were like, oh, we're just desperate, we're trying something different. Okay, maybe. I still wouldn't like it, but all right. But this wasn't that. It was purely a political decision. And it was done because they were going to kill the show anyway, because they had gotten woke before that. See, I didn't like the woke before that.
Right.
But no, the Doctor create a new character, put it in the same universe. I've said this a million times. You are not a sexist if you want your one fictional character to stay male. As a matter of fact, it was sexist to turn the male Doctor that was a male established franchise into a woman because you didn't think a woman could stand on her own in a series.
Absolutely. If they had the strength and courage of their convictions, they would go ahead and create a new narrative that would have spread their truth across the world with the quality of their writing and the genius acting. But no, they know that they have to piggyback on the achievements of greater men of the past. And I just think it's really sad.
All right, we need to talk about Star Trek. It's time to talk about Star Trek.
All righty.
We'll be hitting super chats in between our conversation, but there's not a lot to talk about. They had the sheer fucking hubris to call this Unification 3, and we get to see where the Vulcans, and the Vulcans are really fucking boring, and so was this episode. And this is why you shouldn't have sent Star Trek into the future 900 years, because what you're doing is you're ending stories that should have never ended. We should have never known these answers. These are things we should have never have known. And if we did know them, somebody like, I'm just pulling a name out of my ass right now, Ronald D. Moore should be telling him, or Alan Dean Foster, or somebody who's a current science fiction writer should be telling these stories, not Alex fucking Kurtzman. Do you believe what they fucking did this episode, dude?
It was supremely insulting. It was something that basically ends Vulcan, ends the Romulans, and ends any lingering excitement or interest that people might have had in this show. Vulcan is now renamed Nivar. It's Nivar. It's Nivar gonna be Vulcan again. It's Nivar gonna be interesting again. And I'm Nivar gonna watch ever again any Star Trek series from CBS Viacom. Fucking joke. Absolute fucking, it's Nivar. How about that? Isn't that funny? I think that they are obsessed with the fandom menace. Because, you know, I got the bestest ever. So now they're calling it Nivar. They called the thing that destroyed the Federation the Burn, which is the same thing that destroyed the franchise, the Burnham. I think that they are absolutely obsessed. And I live rent free in their heads, and you do too. And we're just all, I think they're just like, they've lost all sense of reality as they put this shit together. It's become a parody of itself at this point.
Hey, and we think that with good reason. Michael Chabon came out at the end of his post interview after exiting Star Trek Picard, admitted that they like to put in things to irritate what they think is the alt-right fans of Star Trek, the anti-SJW crowd. We're definitely anti-SJW in the current form it is in Hollywood, which aren't real social justice warriors. They're narcissistic warriors. That's all they are. We've also heard that we get under their skin. So yeah, I could see them joking around. Let's call it the Burn, because that'll burn them.
It's the Burnham. Yeah, stupid shits.
But I don't want to think that, though, because professionals who are working for $1 billion corporation running a former billion, well, that's not $1 billion franchise anymore, a franchise that we loved, are worried about what YouTubers say. I mean, you're not right for your job. If that's, you know, it's just like if a journalist writes an article on a Twitter post, you're not a journalist anymore. You're not a TV writer if you're worried what critics think, or fans. And then, you know, maybe, especially when so much of us have been in unison about like telling good stories, honoring the canon, why don't you try that instead of antagonizing us in the script? Why don't you, and maybe they are trying their best, Doomcock. I think they kind of are, to be honest with you. I just think they're just bad. They're not very good at their jobs, and they're not going to hire anybody good around them.
Well, that would put them to shame. It would, the contrast would be unbearable for Kurtzman's ego. To have an actual writer in the room, oh geez, that would be painful. And an actual writer that knew anything about Star Trek, that would be doubly painful. Can't have that.
Oh no, like I mean, it's funny about Mark Zickery is, you know, he has the same politics as Alex Kurtzman, he's doing a fan film that has Doug Jones in it, and he's still shitting on the show. Which is funny as hell. And he doesn't hold back. He's just like, this thing's got no soul. And I just love how he puts it. But no, I didn't find out what Robert Meyer Burnett said about this episode. I heard this one kind of broke him. But I love his, there's so many fucking creative people who use the Fandom Menace hashtag, and the ones who don't. DOOMCOCK coins bestest ever. Robert Meyer Burnett coins crime against imagination, and that's what this was, and that's what it continues to be. And it sucks because I fucking Star Trek is the one thing it takes me back to when I was a wee little lad. I remember watching a fucking big old TV where we had a remote, but it made this weird noise and went because like it wasn't electronic changing the channel. And then we had the big antenna on the top right, and you hit the remote on the antenna so the antenna could move during the day, and it would take like 10 minutes, and it's so I could watch Star Trek. So I'd sit there like for 15. We bitch about like loadings, waiting for something to load. Yeah, that's what watching TV in the 70s was like, in the early 70s. It takes me back, and I love it so goddamn much. And then to see them, what they did with fucking Spock, again, they can't leave it alone. Within the first 10 minutes after Burnham Boink's book, she talks about her brother, because that's good post-sex talk. Let's bring up a sibling, because people do that all the time. And out of nowhere, she hasn't mentioned him all season. She mentions him this time and shows all this reverence. And we're supposed to believe that Michael Burnham actually, because she talked about like being influential on him.
Yes.
It's such a fucking joke. And then it got me thinking, like, why did they make her related to him again? Oh, I remember why, because they wanted to ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They absolutely wanted to tie her in to the original series, but then also to trump the original series, to go ahead and make it that she is the bestest ever and was responsible for Spock being the man that he was. They even say it at the end of the episode.
Yep.
At the end of the episode, when the president of Nivar has observed Mikey Spock in person, she says, gives Mikey Spock exactly what she wants, spoiler, and then says, watching Michael in the court, it just made me wonder if Spock became the man that he was because Michael was who she was. Explicitly says it. So basically, this episode gives Mikey Spock the credit for reunification. Everything that Spock did was because of Mikey fucking Spock, which is a joke. And that's nothing compared to the devastation that they wreak on Vulcans, on the whole culture of Vulcan and everything Vulcan in this show. But never mind that. That Spock is because of her. And they have the temerity, they have the gall to actually show Nimoy in this episode. They have a hologram of Nimoy like floating in the air from unification. God damn, motherfuckers had the dared to show Nimoy. Incredible.
Talked to Bird of Prey 5. He said a couple people who were even into the show said fuck this show after this episode. So I think it had the reverse effect. Kurtzman doesn't care. He's he's an untalented hack. So he has to keep doubling and tripling down to cement his legacy. And he's also a racist. So, and everybody at CBS Viacom, you're racist too. Because when you had to write Michael Burnham the way you did, to have her go back, give Spock a fucking foster sister like this is some soap opera, right? And that's the only way you could figure out how to make a black female character important. Maybe not through storytelling and characterization, because you didn't believe that a character can do that. Same thing with Doctor Who. You didn't think a black female could do the job that a white man could in a Star Trek show. So you had to give her training wheels. You had to insert her in the story. You had to give her every bigotry of low expectations. You're freaking racist. That's racist. Instead of going, hey, let's just give this black female a ship, a good set of writers, and go forward. There's a reason they don't go forward, because they don't believe that they can in the way they would like. So they're not willing to take that risk. So they'd rather risk the entire franchise so Alex Kurtzman can go brag to his buddies. Because he'll go in, and what he'll say on his resume, it won't say dickhead who destroyed Star Trek, which it should say. It would say man who brought first black female on a Star Trek show that aired on a Thursday at 5:30 p.m. And a man who thought he brought in first non-binary character into a Star Trek show, even though that's not true. But he'll still put that shit down, even though it's not true. And
it wasn't even the first black character. The first black female was Uhura.
Yes.
The first black captain was Cisco.
Their lead, their black female lead.
Well, Cisco was a black male lead.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be a difference. I'm saying what they're going to put on their resume. I'm not saying it's true or not. It's not.
They're just they're so full of shit.
Also, Kurtzman did an interview saying, I wouldn't go on Star Trek unless I could have a female captain. Well, you still don't have a motherfucking female captain, dude.
Although Saru is kind of a pussy, so yeah.
He is. All right, yeah. So they got the whole Spock connection, and the whole fucking episode is an argument. It's an argument. It's an argument to get some information about the burn that I guess she gets it, but we don't learn it. So they go to Nevar, and we were just at Planet Navarro in Mandalorian last week.
Right.
And a boss woman shows up because anybody's a boss, and Star Trek is a woman,
of course.
And her and Saru start like shipping each other in a CW way. So by the end of the episode, you're supposed to have people like shipping, I don't know, whatever the fuck her name was, in Saru. And they're not part of the Federation anymore, and they have joined with the Romulans. And Spock achieved, well, I mean, he was dead, but that's what he wanted, the reunification. And it worked, but they're not with the Federation because the Federation blames them for the burn, or they think the Federation blames them for the burn, and they don't really trust the Federation. But Michael Burnham was the best person for this job, obviously. Doomcock. Remember when the commander-in-chief goes, yeah, Michael Burnham's the best person for this job. I'm like, fuck, here we go. So, and I zoned out a bunch during this episode. I mean, straight up. So I know Michael Burnham meets her mom again, Gabriel, because Michael, Gabriel, Red Angel, get it? Really?
Oh, geez. Well, blow my horn and call me Trumpy.
You in that one. So it's such a dumb show, dude.
Oh, it is. So the what you're getting at is that
in the middle of the galaxy, they just finally run into each other.
Yes.
With no warp.
Yes. Well, Mommy is actually the Romulan envoy that's supposed to be her truth counselor or her advocate. They say it's her advocate. And it turns out to be Mommy Spock.
She's human, though.
Well, I know. Don't ask me. I didn't write this shit, but she's supposed to be a Romulan advocate, right? From the Romulan sisterhood of frank truth tellers.
Yeah, the sisterhood of Candor or whatever, of Candor.
Yes. And Mommy Spock is one of these. God knows how she lived. Gary, how did she live? Remember, I mean, she was back in 900 years ago, or how did she also live? I mean, she gave the red angel suit to Mikey Spock. How the fuck did she,
how did she get back? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Go back and watch that episode again. It's the one where Mikey Spock is bleeding out in the atmosphere and like
yes, which I loved that she was just dying. I was laughing.
My favorite episode. Maybe I'll go back.
I loved it.
That was so
I
good.
loved it. I tell you, I hated Harry Mudd so much that the spectacle of Mikey Spock dying over and over and over again in that Harry Mudd episode, I still couldn't stand it. I hated Harry Mudd even more than I hated Mikey Spock. And that is like saying something. To this day, it's not fair, but I cannot even stand the sight of Ryan Wilson. I can't fucking stand the sight of that guy. That guy is fucking dead to me for the rest of my life. I know he was on The Office or something. I'll never watch The Office. I cannot stand that guy now because of what he did to Harry Mudd. That was one of the most loathsome fucking characters I've ever seen in my life, to the extent that even killing Mikey Spock over and over and over again could not atone for how much I hated that character.
I agree.
With his stupid coming out of the fucking space whale, wearing a bunny helmet in freezing time and killing everyone over and over. Why? What a worthless piece of shit. I just could not stand that guy. God damn it. I can't stand that. To this day, I can't stand the sight of that motherfucker. That's how much I hate that.
And you pointed out, it's such a misunderstanding of the character. So, yeah. I mean, that's that. And it really
homicidal, psychotic murderer. And at the end, they just turn him over to his fiance to make him be a good boy, like it was all a lighthearted romp.
Yep.
Stupid fucking incompetent scum. Yeah, the original Harcourt Fenton Mudd was kind of a lighthearted romp, and you could do stuff like leave him with android duplicates of his wife. Harcourt Fenton Mudd, have you been drinking again? And no, please, Kirk, it's inhumane. That was funny. But he didn't kill everyone on the ship over and over and over and over and over again in the most sadistic way possible. That's what Kurtzman think is fucking funny.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's that's what a sociopath thinks is funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this show's so dumb.
Sorry, I just
no.
I can't fucking stand it, man. I can't stand it. It gives me I like fucking get dizzy. I hate that shit so much. I swear to God.
They've already destroyed the Terran Empire. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay. So they've ended that. That story ends. So if they say, well, you can go back in time and tell everything up until that ends, it still ends. And this is a fundamental misunderstanding of franchise storytelling. You really don't want to kill any characters unless it's really their end in the story. So like Han Solo, killing Han Solo the way he did detracts from that character. Han Solo, cool as he used to be. J.J. Abrams murdered the character of Han Solo. So nobody's going to want to nobody's interested in any stories in the future. No Han Solo comic books. Obviously, that my theory was absolutely proven with the film. And I said this the day it was announced, and this was before I have heard of a Phantom Menace. On my podcast, I'm like, I don't want to see a story about a guy who died like that. Like Obi-Wan went down like a man. He went down for a reason. I want to see his story. His story ended right there. That's what he was supposed to do. He sacrificed himself for Luke. Han just walked into a lightsaber. Knew he was going to die. He's being dumb, and then they brought his character down after building him up over three brilliant movies. They just tore him down. It's horrible. So that's what they're doing here. The Terran Empire is meaningless because it's run by this little 5'4", 100-pound cannibal who, I mean, like if she was able to take over the Terran Empire, then it must have not been that bad in the first place. So never mind.
Just boring and just petty. Every word out of her mouth is this smug little snark that I just find so repellent. Just so sad and weak. What a hateful, stupid character. All of them are just awful. And I love how they're just trying to warm up everybody in this season. That ending with Tilly was enough to make you throw up your own nuts. It was so saccharine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It makes them shrink like you're in cold water and then throw them up. So, I mean, there's this very simple way to make a character like Georgiou believable. So sure, you can make her queen. She's extremely wealthy. She's got some sons or some very loyal, very strong, because like might and power still matter, especially in the Terran Empire, where you have to fight, for your power. So she's beating 300-pound men hand to hand. Is that how that's happening? No, of course not. But there's a way to tell that story that makes sense. But that's not intersectional feminism storytelling. See, that's the thing. Georgiou has to do it on her own. We need to show that women are strong and powerful, even 5'4", 100-pound women who, could get knocked down by a change, like if the wind changes direction. And then, of course, you have Burnham there. But now they destroy the Vulcans and they end, like DOOMCOCK said, the Vulcan and Romulan story. Now that mystery's solved forever. And even though you can go, this isn't Star Trek, and I don't take it seriously, I still saw it. I still witnessed it. And, that's why I'm probably going to be done after the season. Cause like, I don't want to fuck up my enjoyment of old Star Trek. And DOOMCOCK and I had a big live stream yesterday on this subject. I'm going to ask DOOMCOCK the same thing. Like, how has this affected your viewing of Star Trek? Like you told me Picard's affected.
It is. I can't really look at the Next Generation anymore in the same way because I can't stand what they did with Patrick Stewart, and I can't stand more specifically what Patrick Stewart did with his own character. And I cannot, because they look alike, they sound alike in a way that, Pecker Spork on, Star Trek Discovery didn't sound or look anything like Nimoy. So I never, in my mind, he's not Spock. But Patrick Stewart is fucking Picard. And watching Picard groveling and being a sad little apology piece of shit, I can't unsee that. I can't unsee him groveling and being so feeble and apologizing for everything. And say, we're to blame. We let you down. We failed you. Blah, 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 blah. And I look back at Next Generation episodes and I see that shit. And I can't unsee it. Now, they can't hurt original Star Trek for me or Deep Space Nine or stuff, as long as they don't have the original actors jumping through their flaming hoops of poop. But Patrick Stewart has impacted how I view Jean-Luc Picard. And I don't know how to unsee it.
I don't either. I can, again, with Doctor Who, I don't know how John Barrowman showing up in this affects I'll find out when I see it. But for Star Wars, for sure. I told you that story. I was at the gym and Empire Strikes Back was on the little machine I was on. And it was just on the channel already. So I kept watching it. And then, Han Solo pops up and I'm like, oh, he died like a shithead. I'm like, and I had to change the channel. I had to stop watching Empire Strikes Back. And I'm like,
oh my God, that's bad.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like muttering under my breath, fuck you, J.J. Abrams, in the gym. I'm glad somebody wasn't standing next to me, back when we could stand next to each other. Remember those days?
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. It ends up, they end up showing a scene from Unification from TNG with Leonard Nimoy talking about the Vulcans, and Michael Burnham cries because we have to have crying. We need to figure out who the new number one is. It's going to be fucking Tilly, which is utterly ridiculous. And they need to have, so Michael Burnham wants some information about the burn. I guess I can't remember. They have it on Nimoy.
The SB-19 series of probes that were an experiment that could do kind of what the spore drive does, which is teleport you instantaneously along this little highway of drones or something like that. But they had sensors and they got all the data from the burn. And so Mikey Spock was wanting to know about these three ships that had a different, and was questioning that it happened at all from Vulcan as it was claimed. So that's basically it. So they only have the data and they won't release it. So she wanted to go and say, hey, I've got this proof that Vulcan wasn't the, site of the cause of the burn, and so can you let us have the data? And they were like, no, we can't, because that's so logical.
Why? I never understood. I was like, why do they care? They don't want to be blamed for it, but they're going to hang on to the data. Who gives a shit? Whatever. We don't get the burn information anyway, and it's probably going to have something to do with Michael Burnham anyway. So I don't care. And then I guess next episode we're going to see the big bad Orion woman. I forgot her name, Osira or whatever. So yeah, we end up having this Michael Burnham basically does a play with her fucking mom. That's the way it looked like. It looked like a stage play, and everybody from the Discovery was there witnessing. And then we had a Romulan guy and a Vulcan woman, and they were like arguing, and it looked like it was about to split up. But thank God Michael Burnham was there. She caused all this trouble, and then she decides to withdraw her request for the good of Nevar.
Right.
And then she ends up getting the information anyway. And she's not going to leave the Discovery like we thought she was actually going to leave Discovery. She's boinking book. Tilly is made number fucking 1 over everybody else. Even Stamets goes, I'm going to have trouble taking uniforms, but then they go, yay, Tilly. And yeah, even worse than all the desecration of fucking Vulcan. And Spock was that scene at the end, dude. That motherfucking scene at the end where they're going, yeah, do it. You go, girl.
You're the bestest.
Like who wants to see this? Who's rooting for? I'm sorry. I mean, the little frizzied heavy girl to be like number 1. Why? She has no skill set. She mutters. She's there to be the conduit for the nerd girl, but she actually doesn't add anything to the show. I think there were her fans. She had fans in the first season. But like now I don't know why she's there. I don't know what she does. She stands around. She feels sorry for herself. And then everybody gives her what she wants and tells her how awesome she is all the time.
Well, she stands around. She gains weight.
Mm-hmm.
She says math is fun. And this is the power of math. And she was a cadet, in the start of the show. And then she jumps all the way to number 1, because, because I don't know why, but it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. But actually, let me just point out one of the subtly stupid things about this episode, which is really just an insane violation of Star Trek canon.
Please do.
Well, in this debate, they talk about one of the main objectives of this procedure will be to attack the character of the people who are advocating for a certain point of view and expose them as liars. That was a key thing. Like, are you prevaricating? Are you lying to me? Are you lying to me? That was like the main thrust of the whole thing. And this was something that Mikey Spock knew about from her days in the Vulcan Science Academy. So it even goes back before. It's not a recent development with the Romulans. This went back all the way to the original, even before Star Trek. Well, that's really just an unbearably stupid idea, because it is established in Star Trek over and over again that Vulcans do not lie. Vulcans do not lie.
They don't lie.
Therefore, having this be a feature, a primary feature of their procedure for truth seeking in terms of a debate, is idiotic beyond expression. I cannot find the words to say just how stupid and pathetic this is, that a race known for not lying would have lie detecting be the essential feature of their internal policies at the Vulcan Science Academy.
I know. Oh, I'm going to go see who wrote this episode. Let's see. Disgracery. It was written by probably somebody we never heard of. God, I see season 4.
Some moron.
I got the hiccups. It's the worst time to have the hiccups. Some moron. Yes. It was. See, I've got the hiccups.
Oh dear. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Christian Bayer wrote this.
Oh, their resident Star Trek expert who ought to know that Vulcans don't lie?
Yeah, the resident Star Trek expert who wrote Voyager novels.
Ah, well, she should know that Vulcans don't lie, but I guess she's not really much of an expert at all, is she? I'll tell you another thing that is unbearably stupid about this episode is that they said that in this little get-together, this little procedure that they have, one of the other main aspects of it, the way that you win it, is by discrediting the opponent in the debate, by personally revealing flaws and attacking the opponent, and that is how you win. Well, that's a logical fallacy. Anybody that has any background in philosophy, went to school, studied logic, knows that that is called an ad hominem attack. An ad hominem attack is a logical fallacy that would never be passing for reasonable on Vulcan, because what it is essentially attacking a person to discredit their factual presentation. In other words, you will say that if Joseph Stalin says that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, well, that's not true, because Joseph Stalin is a murderer and a tyrant and responsible for, massacring large swaths of his population. Therefore, you discredit Stalin and Jesus Christ is not Lord. Well, it doesn't really matter who is saying, Jesus Christ is Lord, or, the gravity is a function of mass, or any logical proposition whatsoever, because it's absurd. It doesn't matter. Satan himself can say that the sky is blue, and that doesn't mean the sky isn't fucking blue just because it's Satan.
Yeah.
The two things do not correlate in any regard whatsoever. So to say that Vulcans would have a procedure where the truth of a proposition was determined by how badly you can undermine the character of your opponent is one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
It really is, dude. But you wait for it in the show, right? At this point, you're like, where's the dumb moment? Here it is. It finally showed up, because they gotta match sonar in space. That's a pretty low bar.
That is a pretty low bar, but that is like just idiotic. So the Vulcans, who don't lie, have lie detecting as one of their primary functions in this debate. And 2, the Vulcans use ad hominem attacks to undermine the positions of their opponents in a debate. They do everything except try to get to the truth.
Yeah.
How logical is that? And this is something that went with the Vulcan Science Academy from before Star Trek. And it is not Romulan, because it went before the original Star Trek. It was at the Vulcan Science Academy when Mikey Spock was a student there. So it had nothing to do with the Romulans. This is terrible writing, idiotic in the extreme.
By the expert.
By the so-called expert.
Expert, Christian Bayer. Oh, well. I gotta make sure. I need to change. Okay. Little confession I must make. Star Wars and Star Trek I know very well, but I admit I don't know Doctor Who very well. Only part of the series I have watched was David Tennant regeneration of Doctor Who. That's okay, Digi Okuma. You don't have to watch or like all the things. It's good to have something out there that you haven't seen, because maybe you'll pick it up someday and like it. Doomcock and I picked up, Farscape, and or maybe you were watching it before. Maybe it was me. I picked
No,
up.
no, we both started watching it about the same time.
Yeah, I fucking love, and it's
It's
cool. It's good to find these little gems out there, and it's like, where was this all my life? And I hope to do that more. So check it out when you're ready. Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to step away for just a sec. I'll be right back.
Go right ahead, brother. J1701D for £5. We're living the never-ending story. The postmodern destructive nihilist. Nothing is consuming everything we love now. Nothing, and yes, nothing is consuming everything we love now. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. And I'm tired of it. I mean, and I'm the kind of person who liked that storytelling back in the 90s and early 2000s. I liked it when they, the Watchmen type storytelling in comics and, some of the darker shit I liked. I admit it. I like the unreliable narrator, but I think it's really tired now. And I don't think good storytelling is tired. And I went over that whole list a couple of times of what stories you can't tell anymore. And it's pretty much everything we like. And if Hollywood just stops giving us what we like, then they cease. Well, they might have outlived their usefulness. That doesn't mean they're going to die. Doesn't mean it's going to die tomorrow or ever. They probably won't be making the billions. Like they were making obscene money just a year ago. Obscene money. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. I don't think that's going to happen again. And they fucked it up. They fucked it up because they thought all of a sudden that all of their ideas were right. And a lot of people in Hollywood think that already. But I think we've displayed how incompetent they can be. Just because you are given a lot of money by some banker who runs a corporation who doesn't really understand art and is easily manipulated by the great manipulators in Hollywood, doesn't mean they're good.
No.
What about Michael Bay's Songbird trailer for COVID-23? I'm not going to watch. I don't like pandemic shit, even when we weren't in one.
Right.
I unless it made a zombie, I was never really much into that. And listen, I don't hate Michael Bay. I like Michael Bay. I like some of his stuff. His Transformers movies are bleh, I can't stand them. But I like The Rock. The Rock is good. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Crazy Pineapple for $10. Star Trek First Frontier, The Romulan War, and Pacific 201 are worth a look on YouTube. Trek may be dead, but its spirit lives on through the love and devotion of these fan films. Hail the Inquisition. And that's great. Tell them to be careful so they don't get sued by CBS.
Yeah.
But that's good to see that there's people who still love it and are making fan films.
Definitely.
Again, yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing people making fan films 10 years from now.
Well, you need fans for that. And
yeah, it's kind of important for fan films.
Yeah.
The Kelvington for $10. So let me get this straight. The name given to Baby Yoda is the current and past tense of an English plant a seed and it will grow. In this past, so in the past it grew. Grogu? What the fuck? I think is it Grogu? I thought it was Gogru.
It's Grogu. Grogu, yes. Which sounds like one of those monsters that Kirby and Lee created in Where Monsters Dwell way back when, pre Fantastic Four, like Fin Fang Foom. And, Grogu sounds like a giant gorilla that, would be rampaging or something, a giant space gorilla or something. It's not a good name. No, it's not a good name. And it's going to take them about a year and a half for people to learn it. People are going to call it Baby Yoda for at least that amount of time, if not forever. Negative for $5. Duck Disney, destroy Disney. Someone else buy Star Wars. Then they hire the best people for the job right here. Hail Mary Ash. Then you have a chance. Time is running out on that, though. We were saying it last year. If Star Trek wanted to be saved, it needed to be sold. Kurtzman needed to be fired. They need to bring in new people and do it right now. And they didn't do it. So they decided to stick with what they got.
There's an old sports adage. We're gonna stick with the quarterback who got me here, and that usually ends in disaster. And it's going to end in disaster for Star Trek. And when we say something is dead, and people come back going, it's getting a season 4. They have the money to greenlight whatever they want, but CBS knows the truth. You see, CBS knows the truth, and we do too, because they could have proven us wrong at any moment in time. They could have gone, these guys and gals are wrong. Here are our numbers. There's millions of people watching this show. And for it to be a success, it needs to be millions. I doubt it's 1 million.
No, I'd be very surprised.
And that would not be a success, by the way. If only 1 million people are watching Star Trek, that's not a success. For it to be a success, it needs to be consistently doing what at least Enterprise did, which was 3 to 5 million?
No, I think Enterprise actually was doing 7
shit, even better. Yeah.
million. I think it was.
Yeah, but minimum.
When it was canceled, they canceled it because it was too low. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery would cut off their their right snowflake to have numbers that good.
Absolutely agree. And they're not doing 3 million, and that's bare minimum for these days. Chris Mead for $5 had a dream that they remade Forbidden Planet with Mikey Spock as the lead. No,
you're evil. You're evil. That's a sick dream.
Chris, you just gave him an idea. See, you put these things out in the ether, and they pick up on this shit. 200-watt studio for $5. All these shows with female leads always end up needing men to save the day. Ray needed Luke. Dr. Karen needs Captain Jack. Picard needed Riker. Oh! You do it again. Dr. Karen needs a man. She does. Garth Pastry Stabber Garth Pastry Stabber for $10. If Mikey Spock were to be assimilated by the Borg, how long would it take for the collective to turn into a massive quagmire of crying? Nanosecond?
It'd be pretty fast. Pretty fast. At least in this season, where they're trying to humanize her, but it's not working. She's as stiff as a fucking board, even when she's emoting. It's sad. God, and fucking Book having her, basically, she screwed Book. Basically, she wrote his bookworm, and we had to watch it. It was just sad. It was sad.
It really was sad.
He got splinters at the end, though. They didn't show him picking them out with a tweezer at the end. It's like, God damn.
Got sandpaper out. And their pillow talk was her brother. Like, why are we're both naked and sweaty right now, and we're talking about your brother?
Yeah.
Mary Ashmead for $2 says bringing back Captain Jack isn't going to save Doctor Who. No. You could bring back David Tennant, Matt Smith, William Hartnell, and it wouldn't save this shit.
No, it would not.
Are we farting in the wind by just keeping our wallets closed? Feels that this isn't stopping SJWs ruining everything. At least we save the money. Screw STD fans. Jaeger bomb for $5. Yes. I mean, in the end, you save money. So, and DOOMCOCK said it. Ultimately, we have our voice. We use it. We cover these shows. If they get better, great. And just to reset this, we would be doing just as well, if not better, if these were good shows and we were covering good shows. As a matter of fact, the views would be better. Everything would be better.
Yeah.
For everyone, if these shows were good. For that stupid fucking narrative out there that I'll prove it right now with our takes on Mandalorian. We'd probably be getting better views or more interest if we love the show. But DOOMCOCK's going to be honest. I'll be honest. I think it's good. I don't love it. I don't love it.
No, I don't love it. I think it's okay. I'm enjoying it for what it is. But I go into it with very low expectations. Yeah. Honestly, every episode. I do not expect. Look, there's a show right now called Geary slash Geary slash your God damn it, what is it called? It's on I'm watching it, and it's a Netflix, I think. Geary Haji. At least it's shown on Netflix. I don't know what it is, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, is this a great show. It's about a Japanese Yakuza member and a cop who's his brother, and the Yakuza commits a crime in London that triggers like a gang war in Tokyo and London. And this thing is stylish. It's brilliant. There's real people, real emotions. I care about everybody. And it's only been like 6 episodes in. And it's already got me so involved because the writing is good, because the acting is good. I have never once been concerned or nervous or, moved to tears by anything that's happened on The Mandalorian. I don't expect that. And maybe I should. Maybe I should be able to expect that. I think I should. I mean, that's the hallmark of a great show, when you're dying to watch the next episode. When you are like, oh, shit, look at what just happened.
Yeah.
The next episode. Not so much. Not so much. I mean, I don't hate anything that's happening. I enjoy it, but I've lowered my expectations of like, it's not going to be that level of involvement. And I've resigned myself to that. And that's kind of sad.
It really is. I'm trying to think about a show. The last show I saw an episode of where I needed to see the next one like immediately. I think it was Umbrella Academy season 1. I felt that way. Like I was really excited to see the next episode. Mm-hmm. And then the Expanse season 4.
Yeah, the Expanse has done that for me, absolutely. And just for people who know, it's called GIRI/HAJI. And I mean, let me tell you something. This show is beautiful. This show is by somebody that people who really know how to direct. I mean, in the classic action scene kind of way. But it also has a lot of quiet moments of zen. It's very Tarantino-esque. And I have a feeling that the people who are making this show really have a great respect for the shows that we love. Because at one point, one of the gangsters in the show has this big spider tattoo on the side of his neck, lifted right out of Banshee. Rabbit's gang and Banshee had these big spiders on their neck. Man, it's the same spider. And then at one point, a character gets shot exactly below the left eye, like Terry in the opening episode of The Shield. So these are people that are making a Yakuza gangster show that's very literate, very informed. I think they are fans of the genre that they're making work in. It's just top notch, and some of the most beautiful stuff that you'll see on TV. That the frames are composed with a painterly eye towards color and composition. It's just firing on every possible cylinder, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Geary Haji.
Geary Haji. It came out in 2019. It's got Sophia Brown and Tokahiro Hira.
Very good stuff.
Looks pretty cool. Saruk of Vulcan for $5. A year ago, I thought Star Wars was dead and Trek had a chance of revival. Considering how aggressively Trek is being destroyed, I think Trek is deader. I agree. I mean, Star Wars has picked up the pieces. Star Wars got something right. Doctor Who and Star Trek have not gotten anything right.
Right.
A single moment of a single episode they have gotten right. They might have done something that wasn't as offensive as it was before. And I'm talking about Star Trek. Doctor Who's done nothing right.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be like moments in Lower Decks or something. I didn't watch the whole series because I didn't give a fuck. But yeah, you're right. And again, I watched this episode of The Mandalorian, got a lot of information, but then I was disappointed with it at the end. I'm like, so we're just going to find another maybe Jedi now.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's just like a video game.
Yep.
Where, okay, now we got to find this new objective, and this new objective. My metaphor is that the Mandalorian is essentially on life support. Star Wars is on life support with the Mandalorian. It's like if you have a grandpa and he's on an iron lung in a hospital, and you can go and you can visit him, and he's kind of there. I mean, he's impaired. He can't go anywhere. He's not gathering any new experiences to share with you. He'll talk about the past, and he'll bring up stories that you've heard, 10 times before. And it's comforting to know that grandpa is over there, and you can visit him, every week. But it's not like he used to be, where he would take you out and, he would show you cool things, and you do cool things together. He's on life support. And I think that's a good metaphor for the Mandalorian. It's like telling you the same old stories. It's comforting knowing that it's there. It's not really advancing anymore. It's not living more. It's just fucking there,
yep.
And I'm glad it is, but yeah. What do you think?
Oh, I think that's spot on. I think that's exactly how it feels. I think this is a hard one to pin down, and I think that's a good way to put it. And maybe people should pass that one around, because I think a lot of reviewers are out there going, listen, I don't want to just sound like we're beating on this thing to beat on it, because we love Star Wars. And if something's good, we're going to admit it, but this ain't that good. It's good, but it's not that good. And DOOMCOCK just put it, because it's kind of empty. It's missing a lot. What they did is they have the framework. They've got some framework, and they didn't, insult you. They don't have people slapping away hands and, and nonsensical storytelling and people drinking milk out of a tit, that's not hard. It's hard. It's not hard not to do that. Okay. So we shouldn't be rewarding them that much for, wow, professionals made a good episode of TV, very good, that you were paid millions of dollars to do. You made a good Star Wars. They really are starting to pat themselves on the back about this, and they do need to kind of back off on that one. You are still early on, and things are not okay. Still.
Yeah.
You've got some Star Wars fans back who are just dying for Star Wars. I think there's so much more out there than Star Wars. I just do. I don't think Star Wars is the pinnacle anymore. I think it could have been. I mentioned that in my review. I mean, just in this one scene where the Mandalorian's kicking ass and flying around in his jetpack, you saw in that one scene that you had a little piece, you had an intellectual property that can have wizards, superheroes, sci-fi, and fantasy all in one. It's the perfect property, and you fucked it up. And it's going to take you years to make it something, huge again. And you're basically starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And maybe it took that massive failure for them to start innovating again. But I don't think Disney's capable of it. I think that company is too big to innovate. And we've had this discussion before. I think to have something like Star Wars happen again, it has to come from one creative mind. It can't come from a committee.
Yeah. It works best that way. I mean, you can get something from a committee, but it's rare. It's rare.
Yep. But DOOMCOCK's right. You're visiting grandpa. He ain't all there. This isn't the grandpa who can show you how to work on your car. No, this is grandpa. This is mostly there.
Yeah. It's comforting. He's still alive.
Yeah.
You're glad you can go visit him every week, but it's still not, it's not the same. And it's not advancing anything. It's not advancing his life. It's not advancing your relationship. It's a suspended animation.
Oh, and this is not moving. Yeah, you're right. This isn't moving Star Wars forward. You're picking from the animated shows, and you have a little clone of Yoda. So you have a lot of familiarity. I mean, it's all familiarity. You have a kind of Boba Fett and a kind of Yoda, and then you have Ahsoka from a very popular cartoon within the Star Wars fandom. Okay,
right.
But you're not moving anything forward. There's nothing new here. You're still got the empire, the same old defeated empire with the same old defeated stormtroopers. You got X-wing fighter. I mean, yeah, there's nothing moving forward. It's stagnant. Hail Gary and Doomcock. What do you guys think of in my opinion, nitpicking of the size of Ahsoka's Leku? Is that how you say it? The fucking her. Leku, whatever it is, in this week's episode of The Mandalorian. Big deal or nothing, if you ask me. Are you talking about the is that like what's on her head? Hang on. Like again,
yeah, is that like what's on her head? I don't know.
I'm looking
I'm not sure.
But yeah. I think nitpicking that shit is what nerds do.
Yeah.
I think perfectly fine to do that. If you think it's too big or too small, and that's the kind of thing I would nitpick. I nitpicked the size of Spider-Man's webs on his costumes when they changed artists. I think that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to do that.
Absolutely. It's one of the fun things. God, I wish we could just do that kind of stuff and stop worrying about these giant issues that our entire culture is being destroyed. It'd be a lot more fun.
I thought Rosario Dawson, I don't think it looked too big. Are they saying it looked too big? I thought it looked great. I thought
I thought she looked really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Her facial structure, like absolutely matches Ahsoka, in my opinion, just from what I'm looking at here. She was a little skinny. That's the only thing is, Rosario Dawson's a skinny person. I think somebody who worked, did as much as what she did, she would be a little bulkier.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of female actresses need to work on that because the dudes have to bulk up. I think the chicks do too, a little bit. And the one thing I'll credit Terminator Derp Fate for is what's her name? Yeah, got yoked up for the role.
Right.
So I give her that credit for it. And Brie Larson should be yoked up for her role. But she can't. She's got such a tiny little frame. But that's the whole point. They wanted to get the littlest, most petite person to like punch Superman so they could show we're just as powerful as you. But no, it doesn't work. See, Miss Marvel, used to be big, used to be a big, voluptuous woman, in her. I always imagined her like in her mid 30s, not in her mid 20s.
Right.
Wrong. Everything's wrong. Sam Whiskey says, game over, man. Game over for $1.99. Hey gents, thanks Sam. It's always good to see you here. Just Nova for $4.99. Hey gents, do you guys think a Shatner cameo would make any difference in Star Trek? It would piss me off even more.
Oh yeah, it'd be awful. It'd be awful. Awful.
You know where it would make a difference, Doomcock? Orville. If he did a cameo in the Orville,
that would be awesome.
So
we would love that. That would be so much fun.
Seth, I will donate money to your favorite charity if you get Shatner to fucking be at a cameo on your show. I think that would be just the biggest middle finger to Star Trek ever. I would love it. Gossip Mime for $5. I can't even bring myself to watch Star Trek TNG or DS9 on Netflix for fear of watching a snowflake edit. Physical media, you gotta get physical. I'll never sing that again, but that's what you gotta do. Physical media.
Gotta do it.
I have it all. I've got my region free 4K player right here, and I fire that biatch up all the time. And it's Doomcock. It's Doomcock who got me to like start buying more physical media because I had everything pretty much digital from my
right
days. But I'm like, yeah, that can, something could happen to that.
Yeah, you'd have to have multiple backups, but physical media is good to have.
It's good to have. And, for certain things, I don't care if it's on DVD. Like if it's animated,
Yeah.
I'll just buy it on DVD. I don't need to have 4K or, yeah. Andrew Cole for $4.99. Hail Gary and Doomcock for your information. For your information, I've written a new 11 novel space opera series for young readers. A new epic tale called Beyond Tomorrow is coming. Have faith. I always have faith in new material, Andrew. Where's it going to be available? On Amazon? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But thank you, Andrew. Good luck with it. Hope it sells. Hope you sell a lot of books.
Absolutely.
Stephen Yarnell for $4.99. The doctor died when Capaldi died. I'm still mourning his death and will never watch Jodie's era ever. Good for you. And apparently, Stephen, you have a lot of company not watching that show. XNell $4.93 for $10. I'm glad you guys can just disconnect Jodie from everything else, but it being canon, even if it is trash, is why I can't enjoy anything Doctor Who related anymore. Might be my OCD firing back at me. No. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like that for me. I did. And I wasn't even going to review the show. Somebody talked me into it. I was like fuck this. I'm not going to watch this desecration.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did. And, kind of wish I hadn't. Fred W. Manzo for $4.99. As far as Doctor Who and Star Trek era are concerned, never underestimate the power of virtue signaling. I never will, Fred. No. I never will. Governments govern by virtue now. It's a very powerful thing to the elite, mostly white, but not all the time, woke individual. Mech 1164 $4.99, especially the ones in power. Not that this will happen. The fix that might work for Doctor Who: have a new regeneration in Capaldi's clothes, then have him check and sign no girl. It would work if it would happen. We can come up with scenarios all day long and keep coming up with them.
Mm-hmm.
The BBC will never do it. Unless maybe they are completely taken over by something else. Right.
Or if they have to work for a living, if Boris Johnson or, they stop losing their fat government subsidies or something, and they actually have to produce and entertain for a living, that might make a difference.
Yeah. So when will Doctor Who change? Possibly when. Yeah, you're right. Like if the BBC goes under at some point, because it's not going to survive. I guess it'll always be around as far as terrestrial, but it's not going to survive any kind of streaming or subscription service. People aren't going to go for that. Not when you can just compete with other things. It's got its news, but it's lost a lot of people with that. Yeah, I don't know. If the BBC sold Doctor Who, because that could be worse. Because if somebody like Amazon picks it up, they could be even more woke with it, and then they would never. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that might be out of the frying pan into the fire. Is this from Douglas Nelson? We have our judgment. He said he tweeted us something. I'm scowling. I'm scowling today.
Hail Douglas Nelson.
Yeah. Let me make sure I'm not showing any private messages or anything. Whoops. But hail Douglas. Thanks, buddy.
Great stuff, man.
There we go.
Oh, look at that. Beautifully done. Look at fucking Tilly. and Dr. is over there looking like, her mouth is hanging open. It's kind of funny.
I think it's great. I can't tell the difference between that and Jodie Whittaker at all.
It's eerie. And Mikey Spock looking plank-like and annoying. Way curvier than she is. And it should have been just like a straight board, but other than that, this is perfect.
She's crying though. She is crying. You see that? You got the tears going.
I see. I couldn't see she was crying. I got you now. Perfect.
Well done, sir. Well done. Thank you.
Cooler than he does on the show.
Right? He does. Well, dude. So thank you. He said, I tweeted you an image. Thank you for the $2. Fire Knight for $10. They aren't hollow. They're elitists. They truly believe that because they're in charge of these properties, we should love whatever they do because they're the elite and we are the peasant. Fire Knight, I agree and disagree. They can be hollow elitists. I don't think they have a soul. I think if they had a soul, souls require, you would have some sort of empathy, meaning you would be willing to work and understand. That's not what wokeness, intersectionalism, or elitism is. It's about separating us. It's about dividing us. It's about dehumanizing us. So they are hollow. They have no fucking soul, and they are also elitists.
Nice.
Hey, my lords. Doomcock, did you see that hit piece on you? You got another hit piece on Doomcock?
Another one, eh? Wow.
Very
No, I have not. I've
$5.
not seen it. I don't pay attention to these things, but yeah. If it was like some little channel, I don't give a shit. If it was like Vanity Fair or something, then I pay attention to that.
Now, yeah, if it's just some guys live streaming, I don't care about that. And listen, we're not above criticism. They can do it all they want, and we generally just ignore it. But they can have their say. They have every right to it. 200-watt studio. I mean, America, it's a free country. Free speech means we're free to sound as stupid as we want to. 200-watt studio for $5. There's a reason why there are no female Daleks. They hate imperfection. Oh.
Hey.
Rest in peace, David Prowse, says Vader for $10. Yeah, again, IMDb did something kind of classy. I was noticing that. Let's get to their homepage, and they put David Prowse on their homepage.
Oh, that's very good.
Yep, he's right there. I'll show you guys. I thought that was pretty cool. For a guy who was under a mask for so long. But oh shit, I don't want to see that. There we go. But there he is. He was on their homepage.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad he's getting the proper due. Like that he was trending, I mean, fuck Twitter, but he was on top of the Twitter trending and they made a big deal about it. So I thought that was good. Mandalorian is cheap. Number 2 with ugly egg eating, says negative for $2. I mean, I don't know how much they spend on the app. I assumed because I know the first season was very expensive. So I just assumed the second season will be too, but maybe it's cheaper. I don't know.
Well, they're shooting it like with that process. It might be quite better in terms of expense.
It might be. It's pretty incredible what they do. Even though I can tell it's a screen once in a while, it's still okay. Classic. That's not the problem I have with the show. The technical stuff is fine. It's just give me a goddamn story. Classic Comics for $2. David Prowse was in Clockwork Orange as well. That's right.
Oh, really? What part? I don't remember.
Here, let's look it up.
Interesting.
Prowse. He was in the Hitchhiker show. He was the bodyguard of. Oh my God, I hate it when I'm there. Julian. Yes, he was the wasn't he the manservant? The house they went into where he does all the draping.
I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, here he is. You'll recognize it as soon as you see it.
Oh yeah, holy shit. Dave Prowse. Nice. Son of a gun.
How big that dude was.
Well, that is fantastic. He had a great filmography then. Got to meet Kubrick and everything else. Fantastic.
Oh, dude, his filmography is fucking massive. It is bigger than I thought it was. It goes from. He's in Doctor Who too. The Time Monster. That's right.
Nice.
Playing the Minotaur. He was in Ace of Wands, The Saint, the Beverly Hillbillies.
He was in the Beverly Hillbillies. Oh, that's great.
The Tomorrow People, Arthur of Britons, Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, The Top Secret Life of Edgar Briggs, and Space 1999. Played a teacher. Yeah.
Was he like one of these alien reptile kind of guys in a suit? I think he was. And
the cloud creature was. Yeah. And he was the beta cloud.
No, he's always an alpha cloud.
He's an alpha cloud to us. All right.
That's right.
And his last series was Mission Backup Earth as Professor Henry Wales.
Nice.
And he was in a lot of shit. That's awesome. The Benny Hill Show. He was in the Benny Hill Show too. Fuck yeah. Prowse chasing around some women with some boobies. Dixon Sider says, I'd be down for an A-Force movie if Axel Braun actresses were in it. I would be too, sir. As a matter of fact, he'll probably produce his before Marvel produces theirs, and the costumes will be better, and so will the plot. Ian Slater for $5. What if Brie went all in and played a villain in any movie? Would that change how people view her as an actress and a personality? No. I mean, like, she played that in Ian. I know some people like Brie because they think she's hot. I don't think Brie hasn't done anything wrong lately. As far as coming out and calling out fans, she's been trying to rebuild her career, but it makes it worse than when you just pop on YouTube and you're given fucking everything when, we're here working our asses off. And I'm not asking to be given anything. I'm just saying we should all be treated fairly here. I know we aren't, and that's fine. We live in a world where one of the biggest YouTubers just knocked out an NBA player, and that made more news than Roy Jones Jr. fighting Mike Tyson. They were the undercard. But Jake Paul knocked out an NBA player. So, and that's their biggest guy here. So every time I get even close to being impressed with being a YouTube, I just remind myself, Jarbo got 100,000 subscribers on this platform, and Jake Paul is like the biggest thing on it. So yeah, it's not that, it's crazy. Ian, I think Brie is kind of a loss. She's just not that likable, I think, to a lot of people.
Oh no. And I mean, we got a long memory, and her abuse. I mean, you can't take that shit back,
She hasn't apologized for it either. I think that would probably go a long way.
Yeah.
Listen, let's start out. Let's like Matt Jarbo says, let's turn over a new boulder here. Let's start on the I'm sorry I said that about white guys. That might help. But she's not a good Captain Marvel. No matter what she said outside, I wouldn't have liked her as Captain Marvel. That didn't affect how I liked or dislike the movie. Sam Whiskey for $1.99 says, game over. Black Tiger. Thank you, Sam, for 001 for 2 Canadian pesos. Think they could have, you think they can make Lave View Terrace either? I don't know what that is, Black Tiger.
Lave
View Terrace.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Black Tiger. Let me know. I feel bad, but I don't know what that is. Hell, guys, if Kathleen Kennedy keeps her job because of Mando, I blame the fans. It's not that good. It's the Force Awakens and Star Wars TV. Have an awesome day, says Raging Rhino for $7.99 Australian dollars. Blaming the fans. I wouldn't blame the fans. No. I mean, fans are going to be fans, Raging Rhino. I would blame Disney's perception and laziness and unwillingness to fire a woman, and they fear her for some reason. She's got fucking Bob Iger's balls in her fucking top drawer.
Something, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Feige too. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you got Feige waiting in the wings, wanting to take over Star Wars. If she sticks around, then like it's dead. It's still dead. It doesn't affect me because I think it's dead anyway. If Kathleen Kennedy leaves tomorrow and Jon Favreau takes over, I think that's the right direction, but I still think it's dead for me. It's not enough for me to jump back in. I like Jon Favreau. He's a talented filmmaker. He's made some good movies. He's made some duds too. And he's not perfect, but he's better than Kathleen Kennedy. But the damage is done. You can't put the soy milk back in the titty. Band account. Why does Mr. Fantastic need to still be a man for $1.99?
He's Mr.
Yeah. But that's funny. That's a good question. I think he's asking the rhetorical 2020 question. Why does Mr. Fantastic still need to be a man?
Because he's Mr. Fantastic.
Yes,
and that's why. It's the answer is in the name.
It's in the name. Eric K for $5. Fantastic Four will be Reed and Sam. Johnny will be Jenny, and Ben Grimm will be Benji, the trans with pink shorts. I think that's the Fantastic Four. I think he just called it. Jimmy,
that is a Fantastic Four.
It's the Fabulous Four.
Fifth Four.
Jimmy Soul for $5. Neurotica DC, hell, everyone. Always said in a new vid that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are in talks with Marvel for the Fantastic Four film. Any truth? Who said this? Everything Always? You mean Emergency Awesome? Well, I don't know what Everything Always is, but maybe Emergency. That would be great. I think they would both be really fine for the role. I do. Plus, they're really married in real life. I think that might go somewhere unless the marriage is going south while they're filming. Then it wouldn't work. I don't know. What do you think of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Reed Richards and Sue Storm? Doomcock.
Yeah. I mean, I think Emily Blunt might be too old for the part as it was originally done. I mean, Sue Storm was fairly young, I think. But yeah, I mean, she's a good actress. I think she'd be fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not really. Yeah, I mean, it's
not mind blowing,
but
yeah. I think that would be a safe pick.
Yeah.
It would be better than what I think it'll be. And then they're going to use it to shame people when they go, hey, this isn't the Fantastic Four. You're going to put up a movie, call it the Fantastic Four. It's going to look fucking nothing like the Fantastic Four. And then you guys are going to wonder why it's not going to work. Because Disney's starting to think that their shit don't stink. Well, they've been thinking that for a while. And so is Kevin Feige. And I guarantee you, if you put a Fantastic Four up there and they're not like, they don't look like Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four with blue uniforms on with a big fucking 4 on their chest, and unabashedly a 4 on their chest, a big, and I want it to look just like Kirby did it.
Yeah. That would be great. And also January Jones would be good for Sue Storm.
She would. Real good.
Yeah.
Oscar Meyer for $5. I hate it when I see 3,000 viewers and 1,000 likes. Are you in or you out? Aw, thanks, man. It's okay. Hey, thanks for liking the video out there. I'm not even sure how many likes we have, but I appreciate them all. I'm in only one screen right now. Nicholas Horton for £5. The government has no choice but to end the lockdown. We citizens are fed up. Have they done it? I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I hope they realize that this thing isn't going anywhere and we need to move forward with our lives. That's why I said at the end of my video, this ends when we decide it ends. And right now, we're letting them roll over us. Rennie A could be the best wrench and Inquisitioner. I will look into it.
Hail Rennie A.
Yeah, no problem. SB for $5. Ray Fisher rejoiced that Joss Whedon got canceled due to his investigation, and now Warner Brothers is making a solo cyborg film without Fisher. What an idiot. Are they? That would be so funny. I don't know if that's true or not. All I know is like Ezra Miller was the worst thing, along with I'm blanking on his name. What's his fuck who played Lex Luthor? Those are the worst things. Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. But Ray Fisher wasn't extraordinary at all.
No.
He's not an extraordinary actor. He doesn't have an extraordinary presence. And quite frankly, I think the guy who plays Cyborg on the Doom Patrol show is better, much better. He's got a personality. I think Ray Fisher is like just deadpan. He's all, ugh. And the guy wouldn't say motherfucking booyah. Why not? Say booyah. You're in a superhero movie. All of a sudden you want to take shit seriously. I mean, you should, but like you're new, dude. I think Joss Whedon's a dick. I said it in my video. But if somebody asks you to say booyah and you're in your second movie and that thing costs fucking $10 million, you say motherfucking booyah.
That's fair. It's little to ask.
Yeah. Now, do you ask Al Pacino in his 20th film to say booyah? No, you don't. But he paid his dues. Do you ask Denzel Washington in his 7th film after winning 3 Academy Awards to say booyah? No, you ask him. You don't tell him. You ask him.
Right.
And he will tell you what answer he will say yes or no. And then you take that answer. Did I hear correctly? Baby Yoda has to go to the top of a mountain and call to his Forcekin. Yes. Pod Racing Palpatine for $4.99. He has to go to a top of a mountain and use the Force that she said he was using inconsistently to call out to his Forcekin to see if anybody's out there, but she's not sure if there's enough or if anybody's listening.
Well, that's really weird because, I mean, if he wants to, contact his foreskin, he just has to look down and shout into his underwear, unless, of course, he's Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah.
In which case it might have been sent away.
The foreskin might have been sent away. But yeah, maybe he can't even see his. Maybe, I don't even know if his wiener's down there.
We don't even know if a Grogu is a boy or a girl. I mean,
they said boy, but we don't know. Okay. So it sounds like a video game. You need to go to the top of the mountain to get to the ba.
Yes, it's stupid as fuck. Come on. It's like something, it's okay if you're dealing with magic, like in The Witcher, because I had to climb to a top of Bald Mountain recently on a mission to kill Imelith, which I did, by the way. So I'm very happy. One of the lieutenants of the fucking Wild Hunt. So it was a tough battle, man. Tough battle.
Okay. we're going to have to wrap things up pretty soon. Doomcock's got to go. I got to go. I'm going to try to get there. Are you doing okay, bud? I'm going to try to get a couple more in.
Yeah, just a couple more would be good.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging in for so long.
Sure.
I lost track there. Iron Buddha, 80 for $5. Mando is repetitive. Every episode is the same. Go to planet, do a task for someone, then get a tiny bit of story progress, rinse and repeat. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, you could say that it's formula. It's just like in The Fugitive, where, Richard Kimball, the doctor who was on the run, accused murdering of his wife, he would go into a town, get involved in somebody's story, maybe help them out or something, and then move on, just like Kane and Kung Fu. So it is formulaic to some extent, but the trick is to have enough drama or comedy or content to kind of obscure the pattern, the formula. And unfortunately the Mandalorian is pretty bare bones, and it is showing. It's showing too much, I think. I think that's the problem. But I do agree with you to that extent that it's kind of out on the surface, and it's a little bit embarrassing.
Okay, we got it is, by the way. I'm sorry, I got shocked by one of these super chats, and we're going to end on that one. So for the super chats that are left, I do apologize. I cannot get to them. I will. I usually do a super chat square up, a separate video where I record these. But what I will do instead is on my nooner on Tuesday. Tune in, pay attention to Twitter start time. It should be around noon or 1. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. So that's why you should pay attention to Twitter. It depends on what's going on in my life. But my wife is going out of town, so I should have a lot of time to myself. So tune in, and I will start the nooner out with these super chats. Okay, there's like 10 of them left, and they're all pretty much Star Trek, Star Wars. So we will start out with that. Again, I do apologize. But we do have to get going. So Lucas Bachman for $20. Mikey Spock's mom seems like one of those professors activists that pretend to be a different group. In this case, she's pretending to be Vulcan, then Romulan. Note, the original version of this triggered YouTube's censors. Really?
Really?
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. So no, the original version of this triggered YouTube censors. I'm surprised I didn't trigger YouTube censors with some of the stuff I used as tags. Yeah. Loquacious Prime. Oh, hey, speaking of triggered censors, fucking YouTube or Facebook wouldn't let me share my video. That's what pissed me off. So I found a way to share it, but it wasn't linking it directly through YouTube. Also, I don't know if anybody else is experiencing it out there with Parler. Parler's severed the link to a lot of YouTube links. So YouTube has severed the link to Parler. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that. I'm experiencing that across my phone, my 2 different computers in the house, one with a VPN. Jeremy was experiencing it. So let me know. I don't know if it's a bug with Parler or what, but YouTube's being really it's been weird for the last 3 weeks. I found a way to do it because there's always a way. This is the way, bitches. Loquacious Primate for $5. Hail Gary and DC. By the way, hail Loquacious Primate, the brainy one. Good to see you. Burnett, Robert Meyer Burnett said, okay, he felt that the depiction of the Vulcans on Envar, God, I fucking hate, they had to be Nevar. They had to be. They are fucking with us a little bit, aren't they? Okay. Robert Meyer Burnett felt that the depiction of the Vulcans on Nevar had some anti-Semitic vibes. Did either of you get that sense?
No. I mean, I didn't get any specific references to Jewish people or anything. I would be interested in hearing what that was. But yeah. I don't know.
All right. Like Loquacious Primate, if you could answer like real quick, do you have a specific? What was he specifically referring to?
I remember one of the characters like made the Vulcan salute and then shit on his own Vulcan salute, like literally like squatted and took a deuce right on his own hand when he did the salute. I think that was disrespectful. And since it is a Vulcan, a Jewish symbol, I think, well, it was a weird moment, but it kind of fit in the show, weirdly enough. Yeah, he just squatted down. He like held this up and then he lowered it down on the floor and he squatted and took a big deuce on it.
Maybe it was that scene. No, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know where you get anti-Semitic.
Because it was eerily appropriate. It felt like this is Star Trek Discovery. This is Starfleet.
This is Starfleet. Oh my God! Remember when that whole fucking thing was going around? This is Starfleet, and it was the same 5 people with multiple accounts. They just went away. No, taking a big dump on everything. I don't see
Vulcan symbol.
Here it is. Nerdrotic. He said here's his answer. He said he thought the situation on Envar was a poorly attempted allegory for the Israel-Palestine conflict with the Romulans as Palestinians. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, see, because these guys can't woke right, I would agree with them, yes. It felt nothing like that, but that was maybe their attempt.
I don't get it. I didn't get that. I mean, I don't think that the Vulcans were condescending or shitting on the Romulans. So in fact, they had kind of bent over backwards to alter their culture for the stupid Romulan immigrants. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that.
I hate the fact that that Star Trek 2009 led to fucking up this show even more, and they just keep using their own canon to fuck up the original canon. That's what I did. So, well,
none of it is original canon. It's all in this like prime universe. I mean, early on, Midnight's Edge was talking about that, and I mean, it's definitely everything is 25% different at least. It's like a whole separate license for this phony Star Trek. None of it is the real canon. They try to say it is, and they could actually save themselves a lot of grief if they just admitted that this is all just a whack off.
I think it was anti-Semitic because they were desecrating on Leonard Nimoy. So in that aspect, and William Shatner and Gene Roddenberry, sure. But not in that plot, not in particular. I don't, but maybe, again, I don't watch this show. Like the Mandalorian, I watch it tentatively. I'm like, okay, not gonna have anything else going. Star Trek, if a phone rings and if I have a 2-minute conversation while the show's on, I don't fucking rewind it. I just don't. It's like I miss some crying. I doubt I miss anything important. And I guess I didn't. But most of the time I watch it twice or 3 times, but I'm like, lately it's like, I can't do it. I don't got 3 hours for these fuckers. Woke correctly, not woke. Don't correct me. No. Woke correctly, not woke right. LOL. No, I say woke right. Or woke left. Babylon 5 is better. Real Jones. I will find out very soon. And you've seen Babylon 5, right?
Oh yeah. Good show.
I'm going to be watching it for the first time.
Fun.
But thanks everyone who super chatted. Thanks to the Mod Rodix who was here. We had Eric K. I think Stellar Heather was here. Nyla Shadow, Mark Lerzeth, the usual suspects. I saw Jake D earlier. Loquacious Primates. Good to see you here. So thank you again. And thank you to all who participated. Doomcock, please plug your all your channels and your Patreons.
Thank you, sir. I've got a channel on YouTube, Overlord DVD, youtube.com/Overlord DVD. Also, youtube.com/The Harvey Zone, which I probably will start doing a lot more with because I just have too many videos that I can't really put on my main channel. I think I'm going to start putting them on The Harvey Zone. Also, patreon.com/Doomcock and subscribestar.com/Doomcock as well. Please subscribe and check out my stuff. Appreciate you all. It's a pleasure to be here on Sunday nights doing the Inquisition with Gary. And thank you for having me, man. It's always a joy to be able to talk about the week with you.
Dude, I love the weekends, man. Because I get to meet with you every week. And dude, we've got, we're going to be spending a lot of time together this Thursday. We're going to be practically dating this Thursday. So yes. We have on the Critical Drinkers channel, Doomcock and I are going to be on talking about the rest of the Rocky series. And hopefully I can get a little bit of my 2 cents on Rocky 3. I got to miss out on that. I'll keep it brief, but that's my favorite Rocky movie. So I can't wait to fucking do that. Like that was so much fun. Yeah, it was a bad day, but like up until the bad thing happened, I was having the time of my life talking to my friends about fucking good film. And maybe that's something we can do here on the Inquisition once in a while. It's just like, we're going to pick a day where it's going to be a chill Quisition, and we'll just talk about something we fucking love for a couple hours.
That's fun. Yeah, we should do that.
So I'm looking forward to that. And then of course, next week it's on DOOMCOCK's channel. And then Thursday night, we're going to do an Exozone. We're going heavy Randall Carlson. I got some stuff to show you that should scare the living shit out of you if you're not familiar with the gentleman. So it's normally we talk about woo-woo and UFOs and stuff like that, but this is stuff that's happened on this planet that scientists are only starting to get their heads around. And you know what it took? It took a really obsessed stoner 20 years to figure out shit that geologists with master's degrees just didn't know. And all he needed was Google Earth, some satellite mapping, and a lot of time and a lot of ambition. And this guy found out some really scary shit. So we should all live life to the fullest. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, it's true. I've been listening to a good amount of Randall Carlson lately. I've been listened to several of his appearances on Joe Rogan. So yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be fun.
Well, hell yeah. We'll talk about chevrons. So those little deposits, tsunami deposits on the coast of Madagascar and Australia. Well, I've been known to poke around on Google Maps a little bit on my own. Those fuckers are everywhere. And if you look at Australia, they go all across the upper part of the country. That whole thing got wiped out by a tsunami. So back, who knows when? I mean, it could be 1 million years ago, but I don't think it's that far back because of the deposits. But I'm sorry. There's your preview right there. All right, I'm going to let everybody go. Thanks. Have a good night. And yeah, subscribe to my other 2 channels. I got a network going on. Nerdrotic Daily I do with Perry Chan. That thing just passed 6,000 fucking subs, and we're eligible for monetization in a week. Now I don't know if we're gonna get it. I've got a couple of spicy videos on there, so I don't know if that's gonna happen right away. But Perry, and thanks everyone for joining. All it is clips from my live streams, but I can't believe how well a couple of the videos have done, and that's thanks to you guys. So thanks. And then of course this will go over to Nerdrotic Live when it's done. So have a good night, everybody. Bye bye.